settle back and enjoy the second of the season's Scottish Cup semi-finals. It is Celtic against Mirren, and it's live here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland with Stephen Thompson, Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
Yes, it is a beautiful spring afternoon here in Glasgow. The sun splitting the skies above Hampden Park as these two do battle for the final time this season. They've met regularly in the Scottish Cup down the years. This is the 34th time they've collided. Celtic have won 20 of the previous 33, with Saints coming out on top 6 times. They met quite recently in this tournament, the 5th round in 24, with Celtic winning 2-0 thanks to goals from Kyogo and Maida. This is the 3rd time in 4 seasons they've met in the Scottish Cup. Celtic have won the last 4, and you've got to go back to the quarter-finals in 2009 when Billy Mehmet's second-half penalty saw St Mirren emerge 1-0 in Paisley to find a victory for the Paisley team in this fixture, in this tournament. And they've got the belief of that 3-1 League Cup final success back in that chilly afternoon in mid-December, when they lifted the League Cup for a second time as they go for a 4th Scottish Cup. And of course nobody has won the Scottish Cup more often than Celtic. We show 3 changes from last week's league game against Saints. Arthur, Engels, Tinecti in for the suspended Scales, Oxlade Chamberlain who's benched, and the dropped Tranchara. Sinisalo in goal, Ralston, Arthur, Trusty, Tierney, Nygren, McGregor, Engels, Yang, Tinecti, Maida. For St Mirren, the only change from the starting 11 in the east end of this city last week is in goal. Shamal George is injured. He came off in the first half of that game and was replaced by Ryan Mullen, who deputises for him from the start today. Donnelly, Gogic, Freckleton, O'Hara, Devani, Campbell, John and Phillips, with Mandron and Ayunga, whose brace here decided that League Cup final, though one of the other scorers, the club captain Marcus Fraser, who's up in the gantry beside Alan McManus off to our left. It will be a watching brief for Fraser, who is injured and out for the season. The Celtic players off into their huddle off to the right side. St Mirren in the black and white stripes, black shorts, black socks. Celtic in the green and white hoops. And it will be Celtic to kick off. They're going to shoot from right to left towards the west end, Mount Florida end of Hampden. The St Mirren supporters are on a horseshoe just off to our left from the west stand all the way through the south before the Celtic support starts, and they go all the way around the east end into the north stand and into the west stand as well. Dominating in the terraces. Will they dominate on the pitch? Nygren takes the first touch, referee Matthew McDermott's first whistle, and it's rolled out to Kieran Tierney on this left side as he goes across the halfway line, dinks it forward towards Maida, tries to usher it out to Tinecti, but it's straight into touch for a St Mirren throw-in on this near side, about level with their own 18-yard line. Bit of smoke billowing across from the pyrotechnics pre-match, which came from the left side, from where we are up high in the south stand in the gantry here. Will be a throw-in taken by Donnelly, looking for Mandron, one in the air by Trusty as it breaks to Benjamin Nygren here. Just tries to poke it in field, he's lost it, breaks to Tierney, but the ref's got the whistle in his mouth and he blows for a free kick for a foul in Killian Phillips, right of centre, midway inside his own half. Who will start the brighter? It was Dunfermline yesterday. They ended up a couple of hours later being rewarded for that. Can St Mirren, although that's a mistake by the goalkeeper. Maida with a touch of him, and into the net it goes, and Celtic have the opening goal on 58 seconds, and it is an absolute nightmare for Ryan Mullen, who dillied on the ball. Maida closed him down, and it bounced off the Celtic striker into the net. An absolute nightmare for Mullen, but it is the dream for Martin O'Neill and Celtic, who opened the scoring in the opening minute. Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
Well, incredibly. Listen, we've spoken about Maeda, the pace and power he has, and the closing down, and that's exactly. But Ryan Mullen should have been aware that he's taken a touch, but he should have put his foot through it, and that touch allowed Maeda to make up the ground and get a block in.
Pat, you see as a goalkeeper, how do you recover from that?
I just think you've got to shut it out. That's part and parcel of being a professional. You've just got to shut it out. And there he is again, Maeda, again closing down Donnelly and winning the ball back. But that's why he's gone up into that position. but that's the discussion you have before the game even starts. I would assume your goalkeeper coach, your head coach, they will have spoken about why is Maida gone through here, because of that aspect of not just running behind, but the closing down aspect. And that's where the goal has came from. How do you recover? Shut it out and get on with it. You've got to park it.
Well, we shall see if he's going to be able to do that, but that is a horrendous start for Mullen. Dies in Maida, ends his goal drought. His last one came on the 10th of January against Dundee United. And he is justified Martin O'Neill's decision to play him through the middle. That put the pressure on the goalkeeper in the opening minute, and St Mirren wilt. But here's Callum McGregor as Celtic look to keep their foot in the throttle here. It's Ralston, little ball infield to McGregor. Midway inside the St Mirren half to Ralston, and then onto the touchline for Yang, who passes it back to the skipper, McGregor, and then Nygren out to the touchline. And Yang has it now, getting it from Ralston, and now it's with McGregor again. And then squared there to Tierney, Pat.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say, the next touch for Ryan Mullen is critical. Yeah. Whether that's a cross, whether it's a through ball, whether it's a save, the next action he does is absolutely critical, and the quicker it happens, the better for him.
It's Maida in possession here as he knocks it back to Ralston, then out to the touchline for Yang. And St Mirren cannot concede again in the next few minutes, because we saw last season Celtic blew St Johnstone away in that semi-final here. We're 4-0 up by the break as Gogic squares it to Donnelly, pushes it into midfield for Devani, who rolls it out to Mark O'Hara on the near side. And the captain up the line there for Saints, but it's given away. It was Mandron, couldn't control. Then there's a foul in Tierney, and it's going to be a free kick to Celtic here, midway inside Saints territory. And you can understand, Stephen, if St Mirren would be a little bit shell-shocked right now.
100%. I mean, you talk about going into a game and all the preparation that you've done throughout the week and leading up to it, and you know, within 58 seconds it's kind of gone out the window. But they've got to kind of regroup and try and get a grip in this game. It's been all Celtic so far in terms of possession. St Mirren haven't managed to string 2-3 passes together yet. 5 minutes into the game, you know, it's not over, but you're right in what you say. They cannot concede. If a second goal goes in, then you feel the worst.
We saw Chris Sutton, Celtic legend, last week, doesn't feel they can win the league title. He was comparing St Mirren to 1970 Brazil last week with a performance at Celtic Park. Celtic have come roaring out the traps here, but Tierney's ball forward, looking for Tenecti in behind, cut out by O'Hara, who knocks it up the line there. When Mandron, he goes down, no foul. It's out for a throw in to Saints on this near side, level with the edge of the centre circle, but they're in the Celtic half. Yeah, probably for the first time in the game, really. Yeah,
I know it's early in the game. Listen, only 5 minutes gone, they've defended themselves a goal down, but what Celtic have done, I think, in this game so far, and that isn't going to say it's going to happen throughout the 90 minutes, they've really closed. They passed the ball quite well, they've moved it around well, but when they lost it, they closed down really, really quickly. And that wasn't, I didn't see that being evident throughout the game last week. That's the lesson.
That goal scored by Maida, as fortuitous as it was his 9th of the season. He was over 30 last term, 33 in total. Celtic had 3 players over 20 goal mark last term. As I say, Maida went over 30. Nygren is close to hitting the 20 goal mark, but we've got to April and nobody in Celtic colours has managed to go over 20 goals, which is remarkable. 6 minutes in, Celtic leading 1-0, and it's a throw in north stand side for St Mirren, which will be taken by Miguel Freckleton as they just try and steady themselves and settle into this game and look for some kind of oasis of calm. It's played back to Donnelly at the edge of his box, plays it to the right here for O'Hara. St Mirren shooting towards the Tory Glen east end of the stadium in this first half. Devani goes back to Donnelly, and now it's a touch for Mullen, who is taking his time over it under no real pressure. He gets it to Donnelly, dinks it up this right-hand side touchline. Engels with a header forward. Tierney can't control it. Mark O'Hara's onto it, drives forward, but shows too much to Trusty, and it's worked all the way back to Yami Sinisalo in the Celtic goal, and played to Ralston. Sinisalo has played here before. He was in the Finland team when they faced Scotland a couple of years ago in a friendly match before the Germany European Championship finals. As Tenecti picks up in the halfway line, back to Engels, and then back to Trusty, and then Sinisalo. Fact is, Packy, Celtic could not have wished for a better start to this. They could not have wished to be in a better position after the opening minute of this game.
Yeah, listen, we've seen them even last week. They scored early on, but they weren't able to capitalise on it. So the second goal is going to be critical for them. But what I think they've got a real focus on closing down in this game so far. They've pushed. Obviously, they have the two wide guys, wingers, high up the pitch, and they're kind of almost forcing St Mirren into a back five, and then it opens up the spaces for the fullbacks to get on the ball.
Now Gogic has just got Maida all over him like a rash, and he panically puts it behind for the corner. First of the match, 7.5 in. Maida is causing all kinds of havoc in that St Mirren defence.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it kind of comes down to the fact that St Mirren are trying to play out from the back. Celtic have very much done their homework and cottoned on to that, and that's why Maida's playing, and he has put them under severe pressure early in this game.
That's right, Tranchara's in a tracksuit, not involved at all today. Struggled last week as Tenecti picks up and switch from the corner out to the left. Tenecti the edge of the box and about the left angle of it. He's got support from Nygren. Instead he squares infield to Engels, takes a touch, right-footed shot off the post and behind for the goal kick. Celtic going with it, the width of the post, they're going 2-0 up there. Mullen dived, he was on the stretch, he's bailed out by his goal frame, and it stays Celtic 1, St Mirren 0 on 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, they're on a high at the moment, Celtic. They're moving the ball well. Tenecti picking out Engels at the edge of the box, probably about 20 yards out, and he just bends it round. The goalkeeper very unlucky that it hits the outside of the post rather than the inside.
We've been waiting for Celtic to come to life. Who knows, they may well be rampaging forward on regular occasions, even if they hadn't got that opening goal, but it's certainly given them the boost that they needed. Mandron lays it back out to Declan John over on the left side.
Yeah, I think at this stage, I'm not too sure what you think, Stephen. Maybe this is the time where St Mirren needs to go a little bit longer just to get away from that pressure that's high up the pitch on them. They're trying to play out, they're getting caught in the ball, and they're not able to dictate the game the way they did last week.
It's back with Sinisalo. Of course, as it stands, it will be Master against the Apprentice and O'Neill against Lennon in the final next month. Long way to go though, and that's passed back to Sinisalo in his own box, taking his time over it. The one thing you would say is we have not seen Celtic maintain this kind of intensity over the course of 90 minutes very often this season, if at all.
That's the key, you're right, Liam. That is the absolute key, and we've seen it so many times. Even they do it for a half, and then the second half it completely changed. But they started this one off exactly the way that the Celtic supporters would like them to do it for 90 minutes.
Which is why it works St Mirren enough to hope it just stays at 1-0. If they can find an equaliser, all the better for them. McGregor back doing a defensive job on the far side against Declan John. Eventually it's swept clear up the right side. Yang works an interchange with Nygren, who gets it back on the touchline. Gets it back to Yang Yun-jun down the right side. Out comes Gogic, an early ball looking for Maida. It's cleared on the 18-yard line by Donnelly. He finds Gogic, he finds O'Hara, goes back to Mullen, turns away from Engels, and he has to put it into the north stand on the far side. His head is swimming.
Yeah, but it's a closing down.
It's the pressure that
pressure.
Under, yeah, 100% Packy, and it's 100% been a feature for Celtic in this opening 10 minutes. On that occasion, you know, he didn't have a lot of time to react. All he could really do was take his touch and put it into touch.
It's so important that when you do take a touch, though, you take it into space. He did it well that time. The first time he didn't, he almost put the ball at risk for the block. You've got to knock it away into space and then follow it.
Sinisalo gets it back from Benjamin Arthur. He's back in the team today for the band scales. It's a sliced clearance by Sinisalo, though, out for a throw into Saints. Midway inside Celtic territory on the right. O'Hara in field to Devani. Moves it back to Donnelly and into the right of the centre circle. Gogic, who finds Freckleton to his left. Out to the touchline on the halfway line for John, who goes back to Freckleton. You know, a mainstay as Freckleton. O'Hara has handled that. The ball was clearly heading over his head and out for a Celtic throw-in, but it hadn't crossed the line when he put both hands up to catch it. So I think it's a throw-in, says the ref.
Yeah, I think the assistant called it.
Well, maybe it was just over the line. Celtic felt it was a free kick for a deliberate handball there.
It was definitely on the pitch. It was not over the line. Anyway. Throwing it is.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney's over it. 12 in, 1-0 Celtic. It's bowled down the line by Tierney, looking for Tenekti or Maida. St Mirren win it back. It's now with Freckleton. He's got it at the edge of his box, and then he rolls it side foot out to John on the left side. His first time ball down there, and is cut out by McGregor, and then out of a Saints boot out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. Now Ryan Mullen has been spoken to by the referees. He got a problem.
No, he's got a problem with his knee.
Yeah, so he's going to need treatment.
Wowzers. Now,
yes, well, Stephen, I'm going to let you take over because this is quite the story if this comes to pass.
Well, it is. I mean, on the bench is my son's teammate in the under-19 team, Grant, and he's a great wee young goalie. And last night,
17.
Struan was saying to me, he obviously had heard that Jamal George wasn't going to make it today, and he said Grant's on the bench, and I'm saying, oh, that's brilliant, what an experience for him. And he's kind of saying, oh, imagine he has to come on. And I'm going, I doubt it, Struan, but a great experience for him anyway. Wow, if young Grant has to come on here, this is massive, absolutely massive. He'll take it in his stride. He's a great wee kid, and he's been a brilliant goalkeeper for the under-19s, but he's not played a first-team game. And this is an altogether other experience, a semi-final of a Scottish Cup. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
Grant Tamasavicius.
Yes.
Is his name.
I don't know whether he's taken a knock when Maeda went in for that. So almost kind of slid in, didn't he? When he had the block, whether he caught him or something. But it's incredible that we talked about how he would react to the situation. That's going to be tough.
He's back on his feet. He seems all right. I don't know. Jerry Docherty, the physio's down.
Yeah, I mean,
they're having a long chat with him.
They're chatting with the young man on the bench. Jamie Langfield's down there, and he's getting a few handshakes, and he looks white as a sheet.
It shouldn't be funny, but it is. Oh dear.
I think they are going to have to make the change here. Yeah, so it is actually going to happen.
Wowzers! I cannot believe this. I'm actually going to have to text Struan right now.
And obviously they lost Jamal George to injury last week in the league game, and Ryan Mullen, whose error has led to the Celtic goal that has them 1-0 up. There was 58 seconds on the clock when that trundled into the net. We played almost 15, and St Mirren are going to have to bring on 17-year-old Grant Tamasavicius to replace Ryan Mullen here. What a moment for him.
Come on, Granny boy, come on, son. You just want, you know, like, what a way to make your debut at a football club. And God only knows what's going through his head right now, but I just pray and hope that he does well. Go on, Granny boy, on you go, son.
At Hampden Park against Celtic in a Scottish Cup semi-final, he makes his debut.
It's incredible.
Have some of that.
I just can't stop laughing.
What is he? Is he 18 now?
17.
17.
Just past his
listen, I really hope, as a ex-goalkeeper, I really hope for the young man.
Yeah, me too.
That it goes really, really well, and he survives this as a kid, and it could be the hero. Who knows?
You know, from up here, he's obviously a bit taller than me, but he looks so diminutive. But at 17, you've not filled out properly yet.
He's an absolute beast, I tell you.
I'm sure.
He's absolutely.
But you compare him with Viliami Sinisalo up the other end.
Yeah.
As Maida picks up in the centre circle. That Celtic, in all seriousness, will want to test him as quickly as possible. Ralston down the right. They have a 1-0 lead to Celtic. It's played out to Yang on the touchline, level with the edge of the D of the St Mirren box. Now with McGregor. Fires it to the left of the centre circle for Trusty. It is another blow for Saints, despite the fact it was Mullen's error that led to the goal. As Tenekti goes to the byline, it's a heavy touch. He was shepherded well by O'Hara, and he goes behind for a goal kick. And the young man will get a goal kick here.
Yeah, and he needs all the help from those experienced players in front of him. Gogic in particular, you know, he's obviously.
They're all talking to him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the good thing is, right, Craig's been his coach throughout his time in the 19s, and Craig will have absolute faith in him. And the way that Craig is setting up to play is very similar to the way that the 19s play. So he's not coming into a different type of scenario. It's just that it's the Scottish Cup semi-final.
Yeah, it's incredible. Arthur's header from the long goal kick into the centre circle. He's nodded it out to the far side. Declan John goes back to the keeper and he slices it out for a throw-in to Celtic on the far side.
He's done the right thing there. He knows Maeda. I'm sure he sat on the bench watching that mistake early on, and he would say to himself, what would I have done? I'm going to play that ball first time. I'm not going to take a touch. And that's exactly what he did.
No chance he's taken. Get yourself into the game.
It's back with Sinisalo at the edge of the Celtic box. Celtic 1, Saints 0, 17 on the clock. Sinisalo to Engels. Wasn't really expecting that. He's to give it back to the keeper. Sinisalo clears, comes off the head of Declan John, drops into the centre circle. Phillips heads infield looking for Campbell. McGregor wins the header. He was fouled as well. Celtic free kick. It's to the right of the centre circle inside their own half. McGregor tried to take it quickly, looking for Maeda in behind. There will be a retake. The ref wasn't ready. This is the first semi-final meeting between these two since 1984. Celtic won 2-1 before going on to lose to Aberdeen in the final. McStay and McClare scored the goals in that semi. As McGregor takes the free kick from inside the centre circle to the left for Trustee now with Tierney, who dinks it forward. He can't find Tenecti though. Donnelly goes back to the goalkeeper. He gets it away under heavy duress from Maeda, and he gets good length on the clearance as well.
Not the best pass back. I mean, no. You know, talk about putting him under pressure.
Absolutely, and that's another thing that these guys in front of him have got to do. They've got to protect him. They've got to help him. We said it already. And that was a poor pass back. Put him under severe pressure, but he dealt with it.
Throw in Saints. O'Hara 6 yards inside the Celtic half on the main stand side. Pulls it in field to Devaney, who turns it back to Donnelly. He's going to utilise the goalkeeper again. It's back with Thomas Vivicius. Oh, it's a poor ball out. He's giving it straight to Sebastian Tenecti. He's going to roll it forward here to Nygren. He's in the box. He shoots straight down the throat of the keeper, who holds on. And whilst it's a poor ball out of his box there, that save, as comfortable as it was, will do him the world of good.
Yeah, it was straight at him. That's what he wanted, because he did give the ball away. He played with his left foot this time, I think. Is he left-footed?
No, he's right.
He's right-footed. He played with his left, and it wasn't the best kick. I think he was trying to get depth in it, and it went right through the middle and went straight to a Celtic player.
Freckleton for Saints, out to the left side there for John, who shifts it back to Freckleton as we get ever closer to that 20-minute mark. Celtic leading 1-0 thanks to that Maeda goal in the opening minute. It's with Freckleton up the line there for John. He was back to Freckleton. It's a poor ball. We're looking for Devaney. It's won back by Arne Engels. Just recently returned from injury. Well, played for the first time since February last week against St Mirren, and he's into the starting 11 today. It comes back to Trustee, squares it to Arthur, and out to the right for Anthony Ralston.
Now, we said that Celtic are, the favourites before the game. Now they're the out-and-out favourites. There's actually more pressure now in them. St Mirren have got absolutely nothing to lose now.
Yeah, but I mean, so far, what with nearly 20 minutes in, they've had no control in this game whatsoever. Absolutely none. And in terms of looking like a threat, get into the final third at all, I don't know if there's been one entry into the final third 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not been much going on in either box, in truth. Celtic have had 2 touches in the opening 20 minutes inside the St Mirren box. Saints haven't been up the pitch at all. And there's a Celtic ball on this near side with Tierney. Devaney goes out to play, and it's going to be a Celtic ball. Might even have come off an arm there. Kieran Tierney has got it. It is a free kick's been given, a bit level with the edge of the centre circle in the St Mirren half. It feels like Celtic have had more of the ball than the match statistics show just now, which is just shy 62%. Feels like more than that. Ralston has it over on the far side, and out to Yang. Ball in field for Nygren, steps away from Freckleton, rolls it in the box. Maeda shoots, brilliant save, really good save. And then the clearance from Mark O'Hara out into touch on the far side. And it will be a Celtic throw-in just beyond the midway point of the St Mirren half.
That'll do his confidence the world of good. Back at that, smart save, did well. I mean, it wasn't that difficult a save, but he had to make it and pushed it away out of danger.
Yeah, it was good play from Celtic though. Nygren picking the ball up, slotting Maeda through, and he hits it. It was a nice height for him across him, but he got 2 good hands to it and reacted very, very quickly.
That's 2 saves from Dyson Maeda, so that's going to help him. Ralston picks up on the far side. He's forced back down the line. He's under pressure. As McGregor loses out to Killian Phillips, he's now driving forward, he's got 2 ahead of him left and right, goes to Ayunga to his left. Mandron's in the middle with his arm up. Ayunga can't get the cross into the box, it's poor, it's clear by McGregor. Yang picks up, finds Nygren, and now it's back to Benjamin Arthur. And it all comes to nothing for St Mirren after they did well to win it back in the midfield, and Killian Phillips drove forward as he looks to make up for his Scottish Cup semi-final heartache against Celtic a couple of years ago when he missed a penalty in the shootout for Aberdeen. So his effort,
it was a good opportunity.
saved.
You know, St Mirren had basically 3v2 at one stage there, but the first pass out to Ayunga on the left-hand side was slow, and then by the time he kind of takes his touch, Celtic are regrouping, and he decides to try and kind of throw a cross into the box really early, but the quality of the cross was abysmal, and that was St Mirren's best opening of the game, and it came to absolutely nothing. So, I mean, as much as St Mirren have been poor, they're still in the game. You know, Celtic, after their amazing start, have had a couple of opportunities, but they're not ripping St Mirren to shreds here. They're still very much in this.
They've been ripping nobody to shreds in recent times. Celtic, but they do have the 1-0 lead here on Sports Sound, the BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies in FM, medium wave, extra, on sounds, and at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. As the throw-in from Ralston down the line is booted clear by Freckleton up into the air, into the Celtic half. Arthur wins the header, eventually settles at the feet of Ralston, whose long ball down the right side will be picked up by Gogic. He's under pressure from Maida. There's a flag up on the far side.
Yeah, he was offside initially.
And it will be a free kick to Saints.
Yeah, he was offside initially, he was slow getting back. But Celtic are opening up the pitch and they're passing the ball quite well. But, you know, the movement then, Maeda came short just in that last sort of build-up play. He came short, he dragged somebody out there, but neither of the 2 wide men or even a midfielder was going and taking up the space that he left. And that was an opportunity for them right through the middle.
3 times Martin O'Neill lifted the Scottish Cup as Celtic manager in his 5-year spell. 01, 04 and 05, memorably his last game in charge. So they beat Dundee United here, thanks to an Alan Thompson goal. Then he was off, replaced by Gordon Strachan. But he was saying during the week the one he remembers is the one he lost here, beaten by that late Peter Lovenkran's goal for Rangers. Says it still irks him, even though he won it 3 times. So it's just his nature, but I'm sure those success stories here will be something he'll always have remembered, and how he can't believe that he's back here in charge of Celtic all those years later. And see, you guided them into the League Cup final, beating Rangers in the semis, but Nancy's team lost to St Mirren in December. So McGregor picks up on the far side for Celtic, back down the line for Ralston, forward to Nygren, and then to Ralston. Nygren, first time McGregor, scoops it forward, looking for the run of Maida. Gogic will have to be careful here. Gogic is onto it, he's facing in the corner flag. Maida's all over him. He's like a wasp at a barbecue, guys, in Maida. He really is, he's an absolute nuisance. And it's Gogic getting it to Freckleton now with O'Hara, who dinks it forward down the right side. Mandron can't control it with his chest, and then he fouls Tierney. And that will be a Celtic free kick just inside their own half on this near side.
It's
The Celtic 1, St Mirren 0, 25 and a half on the clock.
It's 3 or 4 now that's gone up to Mandron. His link play has to be better. It has to be better. Bouncing off him, a couple off his foot as well. He's got to get control of the ball and bring his midfielders into play. He's not managed to do that so far.
No in Lundaloo today, Stephen, which
I think he's carrying a knock.
you kind of thought he might be a decent option for them up front in this game.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
He's, played well in the semi in the League Cup.
He certainly did, yeah. But unfortunately he's not made the bench.
Ralston for Celtic, out to the right there for Yang. Someone give it away, good challenge Ralston. Now Yang has it right at the centre circle as he comes into a central position. Flicks it with the outside of the boot there to the left of the centre circle for Trusty, and then rolls it along the grass down the left here. It's with Sebastian Tenekti, gets away from O'Hara. Now he's up against Devani, pushes it back in the midfield for McGregor. Short square ball, Ralston, right-footed side foot cross comes into the box, headed away by Donnelly. Collected by Tenekti on this near side. Under pressure from Devani, he too is forced to face his own goal, and he passes it back into his own half for Trusty. who goes back to Sinisalo. Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
So,
I have to say, Saints, I think, have bedded into the match.
Yeah.
They're not seeing much of the ball really in important areas, in the attacking areas.
Yeah, I agree with you, Liam. I agree with you. You know, Celtic, obviously it was a traumatic start for St Mirren, and you know, they had to get across, get over the goal that they lost, and then of course the injury to the goalkeeper. But we've gone now almost 27 minutes, and Celtic are keeping the ball quite well, but they're not really hurting St Mirren.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, they're in control of the game, but not too much with it, Packy.
Maida onto a long ball down the right. Gogic comes to meet him. It's rolled back down the line for Yang. He's got McGregor behind him, uses him. McGregor into his own half for Arthur. This is Celtic supporters, just a few negative balls there, getting a little bit annoyed by. This is played out to the touchline. Nygren infield to Yang. Yang's level with the edge of the D now of the St Mirren box. Now he's driving forward level with the penalty spot. Low ball across, bounces off Gogic, breaks to Tierney, left side of the box. Little chip ball looking for the back post area. It's over the bar. Goal kick St Mirren. 1-0 Celtic, 28th minute.
Yeah, and St Mirren will be happy with that now. Just, you know, if they can get the crowd just a little bit frustrated, hang in there until half time, then the Celtic fans will be getting very frustrated with the way the game is panned out at the moment. I don't know what's going on here with the referee.
He wanted a different ball.
It's like it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that one?
It's not just this afternoon. This is a huge afternoon for St Mirren, Stephen, but with Shamal George out injured, we don't know when he's going to be back. I think there was speculation he might play today. Ryan Mullen going out as well. They've got huge league games to come up, so Thomas Avicius could actually end up playing a big role in what is still a relegation battle to avoid that playoff spot.
He possibly could. Listening to Craig before the match, he said that Shamal George had rolled his ankle in training. Hopefully that's just a wee sprain.
But here comes Celtic. Yang looking for Maida. St Mirren gave it away. Yang picking up the scraps. Gogic with the challenge. That's brilliant from Alex Gogic, the Cypriot. This pass forward by O'Hara to Phillips. Forward it comes here, and St Mirren have it with Ayunga. He's on his own at the moment, driving it out to the left side. Mandron getting into the box now. Phillips is there too. Jonah Ayunga drives for goal. It's deflected behind, and St Mirren have their first corner of the semi-final. 29 on the clock. They trail 1-0.
Yeah, they broke out really well there.
Good counter-attack, yeah.
Really good counter-attack, and it was a huge space for Ayunga to run down the middle, and Justy was struggling to almost match him, and they end up getting their corner. This is an opportunity for them. They've got a bit of height in the team.
Saints are in this game finally, aren't they?
They are, Liam, you're right. I mean, obviously the first corner of the match, first time they're really in the Celtic box, but I mean, you get the impression that this could be massive for them in terms of set plays, real opportunity.
It's 1-1 in the corner count. It will be Mark O'Hara to take, in swinger with the right foot over on the far side in that northeast corner. Drifts it in to the box, the header! What a save by Sinisalo! Outstanding! I think it was Liam Donnelly who attacked it just between the penalty spot and the 6-yard line, and Sinisalo tips it over his bar, and St Mirren have another corner.
Well, it was a brilliant save, wasn't it?
What a save this
What
is.
a save. Like, it's a great height, but he got power, direction on it. He comes in almost from the edge of the box, gets brilliant leap, great power, and Sinisalo, all he had to do is just throw his hands up, hopefully.
He had to react quickly.
And he had to react quickly.
He really caught it well, did Liam Donnelly.
Real concern for O'Neill with the ease with which St Mirren managed to get an effort and target there, and it comes drifting in again. This time it's a Celtic head that wins it, and it was Trusty, and they managed to bundle the ball clear as Alan Campbell picks it up just inside his own half and rolls it back to the goalkeeper. And a chance, and it just shows you St Mirren very much in this tie. Donnelly, is a heavy touch from him, and Maida was in close proximity. He gets it back to Thomas Avicius, who rolls it short there to Freckleton, who squares it to Gogic, with Declan John over on the touchline on the far side. Now give Saints hope, that, Stephen.
Yeah, it was their first real opportunity in the game. It was a really good cross in, header, solid header, just maybe it lacked a wee bit of direction, if it was slightly to the left of Sinisalo in the Celtic goal. It'd been a harder save for him, but he had to react really quickly and got two strong hands behind it. But it should give him a boost.
There's O'Hara trying to get it in behind, blocked by Tierney as he tried to play it through there to Mandron. The flag was up anyway. Mandron went a bit too early. It will be a free kick to Celtic. 1-0 to Celtic here. Big week in the Championship as St Johnstone look to try and get that title over the line. They're going to get 2 stabs at it before Partick Thistle play again. They are away to Dunfermline in that rearranged game because of yesterday's semi-final, live on the BBC Scotland channel at 7:45 kick-off Tuesday. They then host Wraith Rovers on Friday. Sinisalo, he's made a mess of it, blasted off Phillips, and he's managed to keep it out somehow. Unlike Ryan Mullen, Sinisalo played it off Phillips, it bounced over the goalkeeper.
Was it handball?
And I think there might have been a Saints hand in there, as the goalkeeper made the save in any case. Stays Celtic 1, St Mirren 0, 32 on the clock. That would have been just a mirror image of what we saw in the opening minute of the match.
It's not a handball, I'll tell you that right now. His hand's into his side.
He's given a handball, though, isn't he? Oh, he's given a handball, but his hand is actually on the side. It was
never a handball.
Straight off.
Never a handball.
It wasn't a handball.
The keeper saved it anyway.
If that had to go in the net, I think VAR would have overruled.
100%.
But it's an incredible, and playing the ball back. They've worked the ball out to the left-hand side with Trusty, who's left-footed. All he's got to do is slide that ball down to Tierney. He goes back to the goalkeeper and puts the goalkeeper under pressure. Now, the goalkeeper should have done better, but that was an incredible moment again in this game.
Given we saw it in the opening minute of the game up the other end as well.
Incredible, 2 goalkeeping errors, inches from being a goal. And actually, you're right, Packy, had it gone to VAR, if the ball had gone in the goal, it would have never been a handball for me.
No, it hit his arm, but his arm, it was almost
it's in his side.
Down along his side. He had it bent, but there you go again. St Mirren now, that's given them a little bit of hope.
Too right. You can see the confidence. Phillips chasing it down there as Sinisalo blasts it clear. It's now with Freckleton turning away from Yang on the far side. John looking for Freckleton again. Celtic have won it back with Nygren back down the line for Yang. Gets it to Nygren, flicks it away from his man as Gogic comes across, plays it off Nygren and out for a St Mirren throw in on the far side. Good 5-10 minutes this for Saints.
It has been. It's been a little bit. That's a bad tackle.
Engels, yellow straight out by Matthew McDermott.
Oh, he's lucky.
I want to see the replay of this. I'll tell you that right now. That looked a very bad challenge. But I will take a look at it.
He's gone in on Devani as Arne Engels. The guys are getting a replay. We've got monitors here.
I'll tell you what.
He's low, isn't it?
Studs are down, aren't they?
Sliding in, though. He's late.
Yeah, yellow's the right decision. Yellow's the right decision.
Yellow for Engels, free kick St Mirren, 1-0 Celtic, 11 minutes from half-time.
Put that down to maybe that he's been out of the game for quite a while and his timing
just a wee bit
late, but it could have been much worse, and that would have changed the complexion of the game again. Incredible. But St Mirren, how many times have we seen Celtic starting off games really well? We talked about it before the game, and now they're actually in a situation where they can't control it. After what, 34 minutes?
Yeah, all that vibrancy from the opening 10 minutes is gone for Celtic. And Gogic has to put it out for a throw in on the far side under pressure from Nygren. It's about level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half. Ralston's over it.
And for me, that's them trying almost just to keep the ball, knocking it backwards, keeping it back to the goalkeeper, back out, back to the goalkeeper.
There's no risk in their play.
No risk in it. And when they have St Mirren on the rack early on, and those forward positions, go and keep doing that.
Well, a little push by Arthur there on Ayunga. The ref doesn't agree, but it's out for a Saints throw in on the far side, which Freckleton is over. It's level with the edge of the centre circle in the St Mirren half. Freckleton over it, bowls it infield for Donnelly, goes back to Freckleton on the far side and then back to Gogic midway inside his own half, threads it through to Phillips. Poor touch by Phillips, bounced off his toe, and now it's with Tenekte on this near side. So away from O'Hara and finds Kieran Tierney on this left touchline. Tierney plays it short there to Tenekte.
Why doesn't he cross it, Packy?
Absolutely, they've got 1, 2, 3 in the box, and he goes to play it, and then he hesitates, comes back, gives it to Tenekte, and where does the ball end up? All the way back to the goalkeeper. And that's what I've been trying to describe just earlier. And you know, it's a sense of, well, I'm not going to take a risk here. Take risk. You're in Hampden, you're in a semi-final.
There's a real hesitancy about Celtic when they get in the final third, which is something we just have not seen for years and years. Normally they score in the opening minute of the game, you're thinking, oh, here we go. If you're up against that, And there's Engels losing out to O'Hara. McGregor wins it back quickly though. Now Engels to Tierney on the left side. Now midway inside, the Saints have driving forward. This time he's going to get into the box. In comes the cross. It's a good one. Yang's header off the bar. Still alive. Maida at the byline, back to Tenekti, and then the challenge from Donnelly as it bounces off Tenekti and behind for the goal kick. That was better from Celtic. We've just been talking about their reluctance to get it into the penalty area. When they do, lovely little looping header from Yang, back across goal, looking for the top left, bounces off the bar. Saints get away with it. 37 played, it stays Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
It's incredible. We described the first one.
That's the difference.
And then you described the second one. And, and the only difference is put the ball into the box.
100%. Back in is a lovely delivery to the back post. Yang does really well. Good connection with the header. Goes back across Grant in the goal, and it came off the face of the bar. Luckily for St Mirren.
Yeah, 2-0. It's a heck of a long way back against Celtic. As Gogic goes back to his keeper. A long ball from Thomas Avicius into the Celtic half. Comes off Ayunga, but behind him is Ralston. Calmly headed back to Sinisalo. It looks like Alistair Johnston's going to be back before the end of the season, Pat. That'd be another massive shot in the arm for Celtic, would it not?
Yeah, it would be a boost. Listen, he wants to get himself ready for a World Cup also, and that would be on his mind. But the key here is that he gets his fitness up. He's not going to come back and beat Alistair Johnston, I wouldn't think, that we've seen before his injury, because he'll have to get game time, but it's important to get him back at this stage. You know, going through the Celtic team and you're wondering who will they have here next year. I think Alistair Johnston would be a key favourite for the fans to hold on to.
Just miss him so much, don't they, when he's not on the side. Gives you that attacking threat down that far side. Remember him and Nicholas Kuhn last season were a massive part of that Celtic team, who have it with Nygren here. Up the pitch, rolls it to Tenekti's in space at the edge of the box, shifts onto the right, shimmies, shoots, blocked. Comes off Phillips, cry of handball. The Celtic fans, the ref's allowing play to continue. Tierney finds McGregor. Kieran Tierney's been better from Celtic these last few minutes. And a couple of warning shots to deal with up the other end. Nygren side football out to Tierney, level with 18-yard line, back to McGregor, and he goes back to Trusty. Getting the groans from the Celtic supporters as the ball goes back the way. 6 minutes left in the opening 45. Celtic with that 1-0 lead given to them inside 58 seconds from Dyson Maida. The error by Ryan Mullen, who then went off injured.
Yeah, Tenekti had a great chance at the edge of the box there, but he was played, and I'm not sure if he did the right thing, but he certainly allowed players to get back to get a block in when the goal was opened up for him. And that's the hesitancy.
There's a long one in behind Freckleton. Yang is chasing. Freckleton's no slouch, has reacted well to it, keeps it in play, turns away from Yang and rolls it into midfield for Devaney. Outstanding by Mikael Freckleton. Devaney wanted too long on it, he's been bundled over by Yang. It is a foul though. He gets away with it as Gogic takes the free kick quickly. Long ball looking for Mandron, he wasn't ready. The header away easily, comfortably by Tierney, and out Tenekti on the turn up against O'Hara on this near side on the halfway line as he rolls it back down the line to Tierney. And now in field to Trusty. 40 on the clock. 1-0 Celtic. Dunfermline Athletic lying in wait on the 23rd of May. Sinisalo pushes it into midfield. It's Maida and turns it out to the right. Blocked though. It's Freckleton forward to Ayunga. He turns it onto the touchline for John, who was back to Freckleton.
There's that ball into Maeda again. Now he had lots of time and space. It was a bit bad touch, but the space that was beyond Maeda at that point in time. But nobody thinking about that third man running.
He's got to take a touch. I mean, he's trying to do it first time.
But if it's laid off to a midfielder, then somebody should be going right through the middle. Right through the middle. And they're not even thinking about it.
Where do you see this game right now, Stephen? How do you read it?
I have to be honest and say I was really concerned after the first couple of minutes. Obviously Celtic have hit the post, hit the bar. They've been the better team in this first half. St Mirren haven't really played as well as they can do, or as well as they've done in recent weeks under Craig McLeish. But they're right in the game, and this is the thing. You know, if they get in at half-time 1-0 down, regroup, maybe a wee tactical change, I don't know what will happen, but they're not out of it, and that's the thing. Celtic teams have passed, you mentioned it. after they scored that goal in 58 seconds, would have scored another and another and another. And I've been there on the receiving end of it as a player for Dundee United and for St Mirren. The intensity and the will to go and put teams to bed is not there in this Celtic team.
Yeah, there's a lot of single goal victories. The one at Falkirk, the one over Dundee at home to Livingston. The Dundee game was in this tournament. The win in Stuttgart, that was 1-0. The win at Aberdeen, 2-1. Did beat Motherwell 3-1, but there was another couple of narrow wins recently at Dens and then against Saints last week. They're not blowing teams away. They lead 1-0, but it's tie on here. Donnelly with a long ball, looking for Phillips. He's going to bobble through to Sinisalo, who gathers on the left side of his box. 42 played, Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. Sinisalo just bowling it to his left here for Trusty, and out to the left side touchline for Tierney, down the line for Tenecti. Midway inside his own half, he's been robbed by Donnelly, who's going after it, breaks to Tierney, slices it out for a Saints throw-in on this near side. Martin O'Neill and Craig McLeish both down there at the edge of their technical areas. And McLeish just having a chat with Alex Gogic. Sounds like there's going to be 3 minutes minimum added on to the end of this first half, so just over 4 minutes to play of that. Just over 5 minutes to play of that as it stands. As it's down this right side here for Ayunga. He and Mandron, they've swapped places. Ayunga on the right now, but it's gone behind for the goal kick. Sinisalo takes short, he's been charged down again. So there's a chance here for Phillips in the box. He's tried to side foot it. It's tame, it's wide, and it stays Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. But for the second time in this first half, and the third overall, twice for Celtic it's happened for Viliami Sinisalo. He's wanted too long on the ball, charged down. St Mirren can't take advantage of it, and they still trail this semi-final.
Why does Phillips not put his foot through the ball there?
Absolutely, what a chance for Phillips just to hit the target. At least he's got to hit the target.
See what he's trying to do though, he's trying to pass it in the bottom left.
He's trying to caress it into the bottom left on his left foot, but ultimately it's a really poor effort. Just get the thing on target, put a bit of weight behind the shot. It's a horrendous error again from Celtic.
I don't understand how Celtic have gone about this game. Everything is slow, back to the goalkeeper, taking their time, waiting for the moment. And Sinisalo obviously getting caught in the ball twice. You learned the first time. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, and the irony won't be lost in St Mirren. It was that error that has them behind in this tie, and they haven't been able to take advantage of the twice that Celtic have done it themselves up the other end.
St Mirren had 2 or 3 players around Sinisalo.
They did not make the best of that opportunity.
Yeah, Ayunga blocked it. It broke to Mandron, who teed up Phillips, who passed it wide. Gogic launches it forward up towards the halfway line. It's one in the air by Ayunga. It's off the head of Arthur, who heads it out for a St Mirren throw-in on this near side. I mean, obviously they'd rather be level here, Stephen, but it's given how early the Celtic goal was and the way it came about, the fact that they're just 1-0 down going into first half stoppage time, to get to half time even if they're behind, it gives Craig McLeish something to work with.
link-up play again.
He's given it away, and now it's Yang who finds Nygren driving up to the edge of the box. Mandron's back trying to atone for his error. Yang to the right angle of the area for Engels. Engels passes it back to McGregor, plays it across to Tierney. We're into the first of 3 minutes added on at the end of this first half. Yang trying to play it in behind Mandron, who's back there helping, gets it to O'Hara, gets it to Donnelly, and then Mandron scoops it clear with the left foot into the midfield. Bouncing ball, Arthur cushions it forward there to McGregor, who finds Ralston just outside the centre circle. He finds Yang, and back to Ralston, and now it's with Arthur. First half stoppage time, Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. Ralston to Nygren, leaves it there for Yang. Back to Ralston. The thing for the Celtic supporters is they do not trust their team to see this out from this point.
No, and you know, you look around the stadium and you look at the Celtic supporter and just thinking, what's going on here? You know, they started off 10-15 minutes with real pace, real pressure, counter press, and all the things you would expect to get their goal, and now they're kind of almost frustrated. The fans are frustrated anyway.
Saints have it here with Freckleton, side football low out to Declan John.
St Mirren, you've got to hand credit to St Mirren after what's happened to them.
But Freckleton slipped, and Nygren's onto it. Maida's waiting in the middle. Nygren trying to dance into space, but it's brilliantly dealt with by Devaney, who calmly plays it to Campbell, who goes back to Freckleton, who clears from inside his own box with the left foot. McGregor picks up in the midfield and finds Engels. Now it's Ralston. Celtic looking for a second before the break. Long ball headed away by Gogic. Devaney's caught by McGregor. Free kick Saints. Celtic 1, Saints 0.
St Mirren have grown into the game.
They have.
You know, as much as, you know, the couple of half opportunities, that one from the goalkeeping error, two from the goalkeeping errors, one from a corner. They're struggling to make good opportunities by themselves from open play, but they feel as though it's there for them.
Free kick will be taken by the young goalkeeper Tamasevicius. Plays it to his right there for Donnelly. Launches it forward long with the right foot. Sliced. His offside flags up anyway against Mandron. I think he's pretty unauspicious first half himself here.
Yeah, he shouldn't be offside there. You know, he knows that ball is going to go long. He's standing in an offside position. You can't do that.
Got Jake Young on the bench in the absence of Nlundalu. And in the final 30 seconds of this first half, Celtic with that 1-0 lead. Sinisalo launches the free kick forward long with the right foot out to the right hand side. One there by Freckleton with the head. Drops to Engels, sweeps it with the right foot. Good switch out to the left for Tenekti. Supporting the underlap by Tierney. Uses him as the decoy, does Tenekti. Goes along the edge of the box. Plays it to Yang. Nice touch shuffle onto the right side. Turns it back to Ralston, who hits it and scores! Fabulous goal! Celtic scored in the opening minute of the first half. They've scored in the final minute of the first half as well. Ralston kisses the underside of the bar. What a hammer blow to St Mirren that is! But Celtic have their second on the stroke of half-time. Celtic 2, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, good finish, really good finish. Nice link-up play between Yang and himself. When the ball comes to him, Yang thought he was going to go on the shot first, but he was very aware that he obviously must have got a shout from Tony coming in behind him. Lays it, just kind of almost rolls it back into him, into his path, and he hits it first time. Hits the underside of the crossbar.
It's a magnificent finish, Packy. Yeah. It really is, and Yang does ever so well. Just like you, I thought he was going to shoot on the angle himself. He checks the ball back to Ralston, who steps onto it on the angle. Difficult chance, but an outstanding finish, and a really horrendous time to lose a goal for something.
That is half-time at Hampden as the Celtic supporters sing their hearts out, because they've got 1 foot in the final now thanks to that goal, which came bang on the 48-minute mark. Anthony Ralston, his last goal came on the 20th of April last year. He scores on the 19th of April this year, and the Scotland international has put Celtic in a quite wonderful position at the midway point of the second semi-final. They scored inside the opening 58 seconds. The error by Ryan Mullen, who dillied on the ball, drove it off Maida, and it ended up trundling over the line and into the net to give Celtic the lead. St Mirren grew into the match. Mullen went off injured to be replaced by 17-year-old Grant Tamasevicius, who had to make a couple of saves from Maida along the way on his debut. But Saints threatened as well. Liam Donnelly with a header from a corner, saved brilliantly by Sinisalo. Yang with a header off the bar up the other end showed that Celtic were still a threat. Perhaps not often enough for their supporters' liking, but when they look at the big scoreboards here at the National Stadium, they won't care too much about that right now, because as it stands, it's going to be Lennon against O'Neill in the 2026 Scottish Cup final. There's still a second half to be played here, but it's a long way back for the League Cup holders, because at half-time, it is Celtic 2, St Mirren 0.
Celtic versus St Mirren.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. The Scottish Cup lives here.
It's your shopping.
It's your bill.
It's your commute.
It's your safety.
It's your home.
It's your community.
It's your operation.
It's your environment.
It's your future.
If it's important to you, it's important to us. We'll make sure your voice is heard. Scotland, it's your election. This is our BBC.
This is Sports Sound, live here on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Richard Gordon. We're live at the National Stadium, Hampden Park, for the second of this season's Scottish Cup semi-finals. And Celtic look to have taken a grip on it. They got that early advantage. They've doubled it right on the stroke of half-time. And there is a lot of work, you feel, for St Mirren to do at the interval and then in the early part of the second half if they're to give themselves any chance at all of reaching that Scottish Cup final back here at Hampden on Sunday, May the 23rd. Tom English is here alongside us. We'll get some thoughts from Tom before we get back to the commentary team. I've got to say that was a really strange first 45 minutes, Tom. Some major talking points, but actually for a large part not that entertaining in terms of the football that was being played.
No, I mean, look, Celtic started well. They got that really fortuitous opening goal. If you could call it fortuitous, you could call it brilliant play from Maeda, showing the hunger to get there. And Ryan Mullen panics, and Celtic have got the dream start. I thought Celtic were good after that. I thought their tempo was high, and then the tempo really dropped. St Mirren came back into the game, showed a bit of bravery in the game, had a couple of chances. Celtic defence got a bit jittery, Sinisalo in particular. And those were good moments for St Mirren, even though they weren't, they didn't get a goal, but they were asking questions of Celtic, and Celtic did look a bit nervous. Their level dropped, the pressing dropped for a little bit. St Mirren became the pressing team for a little section of that game, and then Celtic break out and they get the second goal. And to be honest, I think they deserve a 2-goal lead. I mean, the 2 goals, they've hit the woodwork twice. When they've been good, I think they've been very good. That Ralston goal was a really lovely goal, and it's just that Celtic are, again, they're like a team of extremes. When they're good in this game, they're very good, but when they're poor, they look so vulnerable and so jittery at the back, giving the ball away, getting muscled off the ball. But look, they've got a 2-0 lead, and that's a handsome halves work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the second goal, there was so much patience shown, but it was patience with intent. Whereas at times what they've had is so much of the ball, but actually they've done absolutely nothing with it. You could see what was going on in terms of that move.
And it was emphatic as well with the finish. I mean, sometimes Celtic are just being overly elaborate, overly complicated. Ball comes to Ralston, picks his spot and whack. And it was a really authoritative finish from him. You can see what it meant to him, and it's a very, very good half for Celtic. They don't, they're not in this position. You expect Celtic to be in these positions a lot because they're Celtic and they're the dominant team in this country. But it was just working it out there, right? So they've played 52 games this season. They've lost 13 of them in all competitions. They've lost 13, they've drawn 11, and they've won 15 of them by 1 goal.
Yeah.
So that's 75% of games where they've either lost, drawn, or won by a goal. Those numbers that's mad for Celtic. Celtic are normally, as Tom was saying in commentary, when they make it 1 early on, you expect to make it 2 and 3 quite quickly. They haven't been doing that this season at all. So many games have been a grind for them, but so far this is not a grind. This is pretty emphatic.
2-0 it is. St Mirren might have got back into it, and we saw the kind of good and bad, I suppose, of Sinisalo, Tom, in the sense that there was a magnificent save from Donnelly's really powerful header. Then within 90 seconds, a moment of madness, as he almost did exactly what Mullen had done at the start. And actually, I think the boys are right. If that had gone to VAR, that would have been given.
Oh, definitely given.
If it had gone in.
If it had gone in, yeah. I mean, the arm is down by the side. There's no way that's handball. So
that ball come off the point of his elbow, which is tucked in.
Right. There's no question that if that had gone in off Phillips, that's a goal. And for that happen again with Sinisalo. Yeah. I mean, happens again, and this time they really should score. Phillips, as the boy said in commentary, he's tried to cushion it into the corner, pass it into the net, and again, it's just too timid. Just too timid. They should score there.
They didn't, and Celtic got that second. I mean, I suppose you would say everything that could go wrong for St Mirren did in the early stages, obviously, with giving away the goal then. the young lad comes on. He's made a couple of saves. He's a couple of little bit nervy moments, but he's settled into it as well.
He's made a very good save.
Vicious, yeah.
Very, very good save. I mean, imagine if you're a family member and you're watching him, and you must be a nervous wreck. I mean, Tomo's a nervous wreck watching it beside him, because he knows the lad. What a moment for him. Incredible moment for him. 17 years of age. And I think he's made that save. There's nothing he could have done, I don't think, about Anthony Ralston's goal.
No.
So fair play to him. I hope he gets through the second half in good order. Listen, this could go. I mean, Celtic
the
could
concern,
go to 3 and 4.
Yeah, the concern for St Mirren is they've got to push it now. They've got to open it up. They've perhaps got to try to flood more men forward, and that actually cause Celtic major issues at the top end of the park, and that could lead to potential hardship for them.
It could. Equally, St Mirren could get one, make it 2-1, and then Celtic get a little bit anxious. So let's see. I mean, I don't think this game is over, because I've seen enough in the Celtic defence and from Sinisalo that they can be got at if St Mirren are at their absolute best. But you're right. St Mirren are going to have to put a bit of risk into the game now, and with the pace of Maeda, that leaves them open down the other end of the pitch, and it could spell trouble for them.
Highlights of this one on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. In the week ahead, look out for the SPFL roundup. Just a great way to catch up on all the action from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2. That's online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, available at some point during the day tomorrow, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily Podcast. Subscribe wherever you pick up your podcasts. And a first chance for St Johnstone on Tuesday night to clinch the Championship title. They will be at East End Park to take on the Cup finalist Dunfermline Athletic. A win at East End Park would ensure that St Johnstone are champions. If it doesn't happen then, they will have a further opportunity on Friday night, again live on BBC Scotland channel, a home game against Wraith Rovers. So plenty in the week ahead, and of course all the very latest Scottish football news at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Other news that has emerged today as we were preparing for the semi-final, and of course the Lowland and Highland Leagues have concluded. Brora Rangers are the Highland League champions. It was Linlithgow Rose who came out on top in the Lowland League. They had asked for a period of grace in terms of the licence that is required to take part in the SPFL. That has been rejected, and therefore it will be simply Brora Rangers, the Highland League champions, against Edinburgh City, who finished bottom of League 2 in the playoff final, the Pyramid playoff final, for a place in the SPFL next season. Brora will be at home in the first game on Saturday the 9th of May, and Edinburgh City for the return leg on Saturday the 16th. So despite winning with a 2-1 away win against Bonnyrigg Rose yesterday, and to pip both Bonnyrigg and indeed Clydebank to the title, Linlithgow Rose unable to take part in that SPFL playoff. For this afternoon, we are concentrating, of course, on the Scottish Cup. Dunfermline Athletic already through to the final. Neil Lennon here on media duties. I see him just along the gantry from us. You saw what it meant to him yesterday that his team came out on top and eliminated a third Premiership side from the competition, following on from those earlier wins against Hibernian and Aberdeen. They will be back here on Saturday, May the 23rd. You've got to say right now, Pat Bonner, it's looking likely he will be taking on his old team Celtic in the final.
Yes, it looks that way. I think that second goal probably has changed the dynamic of this game now. I think up until that, St Mirren were still in it. Even though they were a goal down, they were playing much better. They settled into the game, playing much better. But Celtic will be delighted to get that second goal, because incredibly they started off so well, as Tom described, and just fell away again, which is the fans around here looking at it and thinking, why is that? Is it lack of confidence? Is it not taking risk, trying to keep the ball? Just, what frustrates fans terribly is when a winger gets a ball high up the pitch, almost 20-25 yards from the opposing goal, and the ball ends up back at the goalkeeper. We described, remember the one where the header came off the crossbar?
Yeah.
That was Tierney.
Just before that.
yeah, instead of crossing it, he gives it to Tenecti, and where does the ball end up? Back with the goalkeeper. 2 minutes later, even a minute later, he does the same thing. He crosses into the box, and it's a header off the crossbar. And that's what the Celtic fans want to see continually, especially when you have, you know, the ability on the pitch that we've seen.
Well, if you've got Tierney on the ball,
yeah,
and the delivery that he's capable of and did for the header off the crossbar, why don't you get the ball into the box more often?
Yeah, and you know, maybe they don't have that big striker that maybe they had in the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you put the right quality, yeah, we're back to the striker. But if you put the right ball into the box, there was 3 players in that first instance, exactly the same, because Nygren will get in there, and then he's working up second phase where maybe the ball drops down. You've Yang getting into the back post, and you've got Maya put it in there. And Ingles is also in round the edge of the box. And as soon as that then breaks down and it goes back and back, where's the players? The players are all out of position.
But the ball breaks out to Nygren when he's finishing. I mean, he's a pretty unerring finisher, Nygren. Yeah. So I don't know why they don't try and create a bit more chaos from out wide, Celtic.
Yeah, but it was almost like as if they went into that rut where they get a goal and then they get into a position where, well, we'll just keep the ball, we'll pass it around, we'll work it, hopefully the opposition will tire out and we'll be able to create something in the second half. Opposition now, when they're playing against them, are fit lads. They don't tire out in the way that maybe they did in the past. So for me, it's the wrong probably tactic. When you have a team on you know, when you're going for them, go and get that second goal early on, and then the game confidence goes out of the opposition, and then the game just opens up for you. Now they have that opportunity, they've got that second goal. Let's see what they do in the second half.
And the second half will be getting up and running shortly, because St Mirren are making their way back out. I'm not sure that there have been any changes at this point. We'll keep an eye on any activity down there in the technical area. The sun shining across 3/4 of this Hampden pitch. A little bit chilly in the air. It's the Celtic fans who won't be minding that right now, because as things stand, they, or many of them, will be back here next month for the Scottish Cup final against Dunfermline Athletic. St Mirren, you feel, are going to have to find something in the second 45 minutes to disrupt the flow of this game, to get themselves a foothold and to try to somehow find that lifeline that could yet see them upset the odds and come through against Celtic. Celtic 2-0 up in the Scottish Cup semi-final. Live commentary here on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, with Pat Bonner, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Celtic have this rich history in this competition as they try and win it for a 43rd time. They've won 8 of the last 15 Scottish Cups, and before last season's defeat on penalties to Aberdeen, they'd won 11 successive Scottish Cup finals, going back to when Rangers beat them here in 2002. And they last lost in the semis in 2022. That was to Rangers, but they've only lost 1 of their last 8 at this stage, going back a decade, and St Mirren are a long way back as they prepare to get the second half underway in the sunshine again, going from right to left in the black and white stripes. Celtic in the green and white hoops will shoot east. Referee Matthew McDermott is ready to get it going again, and they do, and Phillips rolls it back to Donnelly. No changes for either team. Saints did change their keeper in the first half, with Grant Tamasavicius replacing Ryan Mullen, who was injured and was at fault for the opening goal. But that Ralston strike just before the interval, it feels like it's going to be a killer blow as Gogic collects and turns it out to O'Hara on the right. Long ball looking for Ayunga, looked offside there as he chases after it. Trusty's onto it anyway, and he goes back to Sinisalo, who starts in goal for Celtic with Ralston, Arthur, Trusty, Tierney, Nygren, McGregor, Engels, Yang, Tenecti, Maida. St Mirren with Tamasavicius in goal now. Donnelly, Gogic, Freckleton, O'Hara, Devaney, Phillips, Campbell, John, Mandron and Ayunga. Saints have a throw in on this near side, and the main stand side, John bowling it back to Freckleton, who turns it infield to Gogic, who in turn goes out to O'Hara, the captain, on the right side. Down the line it goes there as St Mirren pick up with Donnelly, and then back to Gogic, and then to the goalkeeper Tamasavicius with the clearance. It wasn't great, comes off McGregor, back the way, it finds Engels. Now it's McGregor out to the left for Tenecti. Celtic looking to absolutely finish this early in the second half here. Tenecti to McGregor, out to Tierney, level with the Saints penalty spot. Rolls it back down the line for McGregor. And then to Tenecti on the touchline. Ball in field for Arne Engels. Got Campbell all over him. He shrugs him off and turns it back into the centre circle for Arthur. Plays it to the left there for McGregor. And then out to the far side for Tierney. Somehow Stephen Thompson, St Mirren have to try and come from 2 goals down against Celtic at Hampden Park in a Scottish Cup semi.
Big ask, Liam. Big ask. The next goal is vital if we get one. Obviously, if it's Celtic, then you can pretty much say goodbye. If St Mirren get it, then they're in with a shout.
Oh, that's a brilliant crossfield ball by Ralston, and Tenecti can't control it. Just bounces through him really out for a throw, and he's got the thumbs up at Ralston. And little wonder, it was a fabulous switch of play there by the Celtic right back, but Tenecti let him down, Pat.
Yeah, pass of the day. You've got to say whether I think he meant it, and that he got from almost the right side here all the way across, and Tenecti, you expect him to have a better control of that, but just took his eye off it.
He's kind of been viewed recently, I suppose, Ralston, as Celtic's 4th choice right back, as St Mirren won it back on the far side. Phillips, but he can't thread it through, and it's cut out. He was looking for Mandron. It's a long clearance. Maida is over it. O'Hara steps in, and it's won back briefly by Tenecti. It breaks back to Tamasavicius. But on Ralston, behind the injured Johnston, Araujo, Donovan as well, actually.
Yeah. Now listen, Tony will always do a job for you, whether he's got the quality to play in week out and be a for selection. I'm not 100% sure.
Trusty's got a sore one, Pat, actually, just as you were talking there in the far side. He's on the deck, off the pitch.
He'll be all right. He's a centre half.
That was the challenge by Ayunga. Seemed to catch him awkwardly there. Celtic defender. He's back on his feet.
He's probably just got down the back of his leg a little bit, but he's hobbling a little bit, but he's okay. I think he's okay.
The Saints were hoping, still are, hoping to reach a 7th Scottish Cup final. 1908, 26, 34, 59, 62, 87. Won it 3 times as they try and find a route back. They're going to get a corner here on the far side. It's good work this time. Donnelly high up the pitch there. Plays it off the defender, and St Mirren have an early second half corner here. They really need something to hold on to. 49 on the clock, trailing 2-0.
Yeah, Stephen says that next goal is going to be critical. Listen, the set pieces will always be an opportunity for them. You've seen the save in the first half from Donnelly's header. And Celtic are just zonal marking and allowing people to run at them.
It's Declan John taking it short to O'Hara rather than put straight in the box now with Jacob Devaney. Back out to O'Hara on the right. His cross does come into the box, not the worst one either. It breaks out to the left side of the area for Mandron, and now a chance for Freckleton across, and blocked by Trusty behind for another corner.
Yeah, it was a well-worked corner from St Mirren, actually. They took it short, which I was surprised at when you get the threat that they have in terms of height in the box, but they worked it well. The ball comes into the box, goes to the back post. Mandron links in Freckleton, who tries to flash it across the front post and put behind for another corner. This will go straight in. I imagine they're doing very similar again.
It's on this near side this time, and swinger from O'Hara. On the right foot coming up, right in front of the St Mirren fans, off to our left. O'Hara with it then, and it comes towards the back post. Sinisalo beats it away. Good goalkeeping. It's 2 or 3 black and white jerseys around him. It's with Campbell, lofts it back into the Celtic box. Freckleton's still in there trying to turn his man's blocked by Maida, and out for a St Mirren throw-in on the near side. Started the second half well of Saints.
Yeah, that was a good punch from the goalkeeper. He had to deal with it because they had, I think it was Alec Gogic and Mandron coming in. There's a good ball.
Declan John's cross straight through to Sinisalo, holds on. Martin O'Neill's in the St Mirren technical area down there, watching proceedings. He's made his way back now. Should have he lost his bearings a little bit there, but Craig McLeish didn't seem to mind. Ralston picks up, long ball forward, right-footed into the Saints' half, comes off the head of Gogic, whose cushion header finds Campbell on the halfway line, back to Freckleton, out to this near side for John. Little flick comes off Ralston and it breaks kindly for Benjamin Nygren, who's trying to play it in behind for Maida. He's done so. Right side of the box, early ball across. O'Hara's there ahead of Tenecti, and he puts it out for a Celtic throw-in level with the St Mirren penalty spot on this right side as Nygren takes it quickly to Yang. Back to Nygren and back up the line for Ralston. It's a loose one from Ralston though. He's giving it straight back to St Mirren, he give it straight back to Celtic. It's an atrocious ball by Mikael Mandron.
Honestly, I mean, like, you've got a 2v2 situation, just keep the ball. A hopeless pass from Mandron. He's not had a good game so far.
Yeah, really struggling, the big number 9. Comes back to Arthur, who rolls it out to Ralston on this near side. Up the line for Nygren. Flicks it forward to Yang. Well, that's another ball given away. Nayunga this time on the turn. Good challenge by Arthur to win it back. Campbell has it for St Mirren though. And Donnelly in the centre circle finds O'Hara. Thing is, it's a brittle Celtic team right now. If St Mirren get the next goal, then who knows what might happen. And they've got a chance down the left with Declan John here. In comes the cross, not the worst one. The header back across is in! St Mirren are back into it! The header back across Sinisalo finds its way into the net, and that's breathed new life into this game. An incredible moment, a wonderful cross ball by Declan John, and it is headed home back across the face of goal and into the net by Mandron, who's had a poor afternoon, but he's just hauled St Mirren right back into the semi-final. Celtic 2, St Mirren 1.
Well, that is game on now, Liam. It's a wonderful delivery from Declan John on the left-hand side, hung it up to the back post, and Mandron, who I just said is having a bad game, but sometimes as a striker that can happen. You get one opportunity and the header is textbook back across the goalkeeper, down, leaving him with no chance into the far corner.
What a header it was.
Great
I've
header.
got to say, it's one of them where you put it back to where the ball's coming from, back across the goalkeeper, no chance, and it was a really, really good cross. And you know, we talked about getting crosses into the box, and where Mandron's strength is, Mandron's strength is in the box, not out linking the play up and doing all that. Now, yes, part of it you have to be that way in the centre forward, but if you get a ball into the box for him, that's what he can do. Great goal, I've got to say.
Sinisalo just didn't seem to know where it was going there. It was almost as if when the initial header came, it was almost as though you might have thought that was going wide.
No, no chance. He had no chance, I tell you. See, when you have to come from your near post to the back post, you're going back across your goal, and the header's back across you. You can't do anything about it.
Celtic have a corner up the other end, and it comes. It's a little touch from the goalkeeper, takes it behind for another corner tap as Vicious managed to get his fingertips to it. And Celtic look to re-establish their 2-goal lead. Well, that's changed the complexion of this tie, and what Craig McLeish would have really been hoping for was for his team to score a goal early in the second half. It has come to pass. They are the lowest scorers in the Premiership. Goal scoring has not come easy to them this season, and that's given them a chance. And Celtic prepared to take this second corner in quick succession with Arnett Engels on the near side. Outswinger with the right boot coming up. The ref wants to talk to Tenecti and Gogic in the interim. There's a chance here. Oh, no, there was Kieran Tierney, I think he was talking to, because he was embroiled with Gogic. Engels prepares to take, right-footed, into the box it comes, headed away importantly by Mandron. He's had a poor game, Stephen, but my goodness, that is
such an
completely
important
things.
goal. You know, I was talking about just earlier. Hold on, a wee chance here.
Yeah, Engels, good touch on the right side of the box, low ball across, breaks back to Yang, who fires it at goal, bounces behind, off a St Mirren player for a Celtic corner. Again, it's Ayunga this time in the way.
I was saying just how important the next goal in the game would be. If it was Celtic's, the game was over. St Mirren are right back in this.
Right, Arne Engels will take this latest corner for Celtic on the Celtic right as they attack the goal to our right. Engels waits, Yang is a short option if he wants, but this is coming into the box, driven in towards the 6-yard line, headed away by Mandron again. Now with Tenecti over on the left side, gets it back into the box, comes off a St Mirren head. Devaney will prevent the corner on this near side. A poor ball, it's given it straight to Yang, pulls it back across. Arthur with his back to goal, it's still alive in there, and the goalkeeper flops down and lands on the loose ball and holds on to it, does the youngster. Celtic 2, St Mirren 1 on 56.
Yeah, Devaney, I like the young lad. I think he's a good player in the middle of the pitch. He's a bit like McGregor getting on the ball now, but he's not got that defensive quality in his brain. And that time he put the ball at risk.
Oh, Campbell's late in Ralston. The ref's got the card out. Yellow here for Alan Campbell. It's a classic Alan Campbell tackle, to be fair. Matthew McDermott had the card out instantaneously, and he's brandishing it right now at the St Mirren midfielder.
I don't know why he goes into the challenge. He was never ever getting there. So late. Yeah, he catches him, but again, it's low enough for me to be a yellow, but crazy to even go into the challenge for me.
Yeah, the VAR team are happy that yellow is the correct call.
Yeah, it's one of them where you know Ralston's going to go right through the ball also, but he was the favourite to get to it, and then Campbell's not going to pull back. That's the type of player he is. And you're right, Stephen, it's low enough that he catches him on the foot rather than higher up.
Free kick Celtic. McGregor takes, left-footed, low to his right for Nygren. He turns it back to Ralston. It goes back to Arthur. And that goal that Ralston scored late in the first half has huge significance as it stands. As the long ball comes through, Gogic will have to be careful with Maida there. Maida's onto it, Maida wins it back off Gogic, turns at the edge of the box for Nygren, rolls it back towards Maida, left hand side, little dink ball across, nobody in green and white there. Yang had moved to the near post, flags up anyway. It stays Celtic 2, St Mirren 1, almost on 58.
Yeah, the threat of Maeda's pace is the big thing, isn't it? You know, every single time the ball's played round the side of the centre half or over the top, he's putting pressure on, and it becomes so dangerous. Centre half's got to be, they know it, but it's very difficult to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the threat that he brings, and he's not really been involved in the game too much, but it's always that menace of the pace and the aggression that he has leading the line.
Long ball, Tamasevicius, the free kick at the edge of his box into the Celtic half. It drops off the head of O'Hara on the far side. Forward to Mantron, who goes down. It's a good challenge by Trusty though. Nygren now looking to spring Tenecti down the left. Tenecti's onto it, level with the 18-yard line now, faced by Gogic, turns it infield to Nygren. It's between two St Mirren players. And a good reaction to conceding the goal by Celtic. Tenecti goes to Nygren, Tierney and Nygren, across it comes, and Maida threw himself at it. Freckleton got there first and puts it out of play on the far side for a Celtic throw-in, level with the St Mirren penalty spot.
Yeah, good effort from Maida. He knew he wasn't going to get it with his feet, so he's dived, but it was good defending from Freckleton.
Throw-in's taken to Tenecti, he's facing his own goal. Was he fouled there? Yes, he was, says Matty McDermott. And it will be a foul by Donnelly. Free kick Celtic. It's about midway inside the St Mirren half on the far side. Has been a good reaction by Celtic, Stephen, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, they've put St Mirren under pressure, creating a couple of kind of half chances, if you like. They know themselves that the game is now very much in the balance.
There's a little dink in there by Yang again, but it comes right through to Tamatavicius, who holds on to it. They've not really, there's a couple of efforts from Maida in the first half, but they've not put the young goalkeeper under massive duress. He didn't stand a chance with Ralston's goal before half-time. Declan John's a long ball, Mandron chasing, out comes Sinisalo, and he gets it away. High ball into the St Mirren half, comes off the head of O'Hara. Forward to Donnelly, now with Gogic, and then with Devaney. Rolls it out to O'Hara, infield to Devaney, now with Gogic, it goes back to Freckleton. St Mirren knocking it about with purpose. Out to Declan John. Forward it comes. And it's with Jonah Ayunga. Double goal scorer in that League Cup final to Devaney. He's been robbed by Nygren, and then back to Ralston, who plays it off Devaney. And out for a Celtic throw-in. There's going to be a change, and James Forrest's going to come on for Tenecti. Not Neil's seen enough of the Tunisia international. So James Forrest, multiple winner of this tournament, is going to come on as a sub in last season's final, then came off in extra time.
Yeah, Yang is going to go over onto the left-hand side, Forrest down this right-hand side, and Yeah, Tenecti did well for the second goal. I always thought that maybe St Mirren should have had a player on the inside there, Stephen, just because he always cuts in, more or less. He cuts in that sort of kind of almost right-hand side, and they didn't have somebody, and he was able to pick out Yang on the opposite side.
James Forrest has won this tournament no fewer than 7 times before, and but for injury he would have had more winners' medals. And Celtic's most decorated player. Devaney for Saints, long ball. Mandron's not getting anywhere near that. Trusty will chase, and he has it on the far side, but at a time Mandron closing him down now. Trusty up the line for Tierney, it swivels and turns it forward there to Yang, who's moved over to the left to accommodate James Forrest on the right. And the whistle goes. Had gone out for a throw into St Mirren, a bit further back from where they tried to take it from. Mark O'Hara will take it. We played 62 minutes, Celtic 2, St Mirren 1. Mikael Mandron with his 12th goal of the season, giving Saints a chance. It seemed to have gone. Long ball from Freckleton, forward it comes to the edge of the Celtic box. Ralston gets the head onto it, the cushion header forward, but Campbell comes off Ralston's head again, then off Forrest's head, settles at the feet of Declan John, no for Saints, level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box, on the touchline, dreadful touch by Killian Phillips, breaks to McGregor, now Nygren looking to get it through to Maida, Gogic is having to get back there, Maida looking to get there first, and he does. Gogic putting the pressure on, he's been forced wide. Maida goes to ground, bounces straight back up, and back down the line for Tierney and field to McGregor. Forrest won it 7 times, McGregor's won it 6. Now he's found Nygren, attacking the right angle of the Saints box. Into the area he goes, now along the 18-yard line as he squares it to Tierney at the left angle of the box. It's Yang taking on O'Hara. Yang rolls it back to Tierney, encouraged to shoot, takes a touch, chips it in, headed away on the 6-yard line by John. And then Phillips calmly back to Devaney, who clears. Now it's with Mandron, back the way it comes to Donnelly, gets it clear into the Celtic half where Ralston scoops it to Forrest, he can't control, and out it goes for a Saints throw-in on this near side. So Forrest on for Tenecti, Packy, what do you make of it?
Yeah, well listen, that's maybe just a freshen up, and James will play down this right hand side. I think that's what you're going to get out of James Forrest now, probably maybe 30-40 minutes, not much more than that. He has the ability, and that, but Tenecti flatters to deceive at times, I've got to say. He's an impact player, and you would expect, I think, a little bit more from him.
James Forrest usurped Bobby Lennox, the Celtic's most decorated player last season. He's won 26 of them. McGregor closing in as well as he brings down Devaney on this near side. St Mirren free kick midway inside their own half. 64 minutes played. And the free kick will be taken by Miguel Freckleton on this near side. And Fairland manager, former Celtic manager Neil Lennon won this competition 8 times. 4 as a player, 4 as manager of Celtic. Will have the chance, as things stand, to put his wits against Martin O'Neill and his former club as Phillips smashes into the challenge on Ralston. Free kick Celtic at the edge of the box.
Yeah, it's high feet. I mean, it's a wee bit unfortunate because Ralston dips his head down low. Phillips trying to win the ball. Not sure how much contact there was, but his foot was high.
Yeah, it's a free kick and a free kick only, I would say.
Yeah, the VAR team happy with it. Kevin Clancy and Chris Graham are on VAR duty this afternoon. Sinisalo gets the ball and plays it to his left for Trusty, and out to Tierney on the left side, down the line for Yang, who skips infield. Forrest in loads of space out here in this near side. So now with Ralston, and he's found Forrest. Declan John trying to close him down. James Forrest has it, it's level with the edge of the D of the Saints box, turns it infield to Nygren, rolls it back to McGregor. 25 and a 90 to play. 2-1 to Celtic. It's Trusty. Forward to Maida, won back well by Gogic though. Now it's with Mandron, loses out to Trusty. Now Tierney, out to the left side for Yang. Celtic have done not bad since conceding the goal, but St Mirren have it back down the right. A ball up the line by O'Hara, he's not finding Mandron though. As he comes back to Trusty, goes back to Sinisalo, where he's just walloped it straight into touch for a throw-in to Saints on the halfway line over on the north stand side. Now with Devani, and then back to Donnelly, squares it to Gogic. Short to Donnelly again, right-footed ball forward, straight to Trusty though. Phillips wasn't behind him, he had to be careful there. Tierney has it now, Nygren's found a pocket of space. Nygren driving up to the edge of the box, turns it to the left for Engels, he wasn't really expecting it, and Gogic slides in. Quite why he wasn't expecting it, we're not sure. Fabulous position Nygren found himself in.
Yeah, I think it was a poor pass also from Nygren. You know, he committed, he took a touch, he committed.
Yeah, here's Phillips. Now down the left, John, left side of the box. It's pulled back to Killian Phillips in the box. Tries to turn, loses it, breaks the edge of the area. Devani's shot's blocked. Here's Declan John picking it up inside the area. Saints looking for an opportunity here. In comes the cross, headed away by Tierney. Devani goes after it, but he's given away the free kick on the left side of the penalty spot in the Celtic box. It stays Celtic 2, St Mirren 1. There was an off the ball incident there, just as St Mirren were building when John picked up on the left side. I didn't catch exactly what happened. Celtic had a man down.
We'll see it maybe on the replay here, but I think it was might have been Tierney initially, but what a good header he had at the back post.
An amazing header.
Under severe pressure from Mandron.
Phillips has got to do better with the wee cut back from Declan John. He loses the ball, but luckily for him it comes back out to Declan John, who stands it up again into the middle of the box. A youngest trying to throw himself at it, and that is an immense header from Kieran Tierney.
There's a little look for a handball there, by the way, by the VAR team for the block by McGregor from Devani's effort when it came back after Phillips initially had it in the box. He was facing away from goal. As Phillips, as Stephen says, his touch completely let him down there. Sinisalo clears from the free kick given away by Devani in the end. There was a push by Nygren. St Mirren have a free kick left of the centre circle. We're in the final quarter of the second semi.
Yeah, listen, 20 minutes to go, or just over it, and you know, St Mirren knowing that they're in this game, they will be putting lots of balls forward into those forward positions, trying to get a wide man to get the crosses in, which they did so successfully for the goal. That's going to be their tactic now.
Freckleton with the free kick, left-footed, high into the air it goes. One in the air by Trusty, headed forward there by Donnelly. It's Mandron who's has the confidence with the goal. He's playing a lot better now. So he pushes it back the way. It's now with Freckleton, gets it from Donnelly. Freckleton out the left side here for John, looking to work a 1-2 with Donnelly, but the ball from the Northern Irishman lets him down, and it drifts behind harmlessly for the goal kick here for Celtic. The Celtic 2, St Mirren 1.
Celtic desperate to get a goal to finish the game, but it's still difficult for them.
20 minutes to go. I mean, I'm just wondering whether Craig will try and roll the dice a wee bit in terms of what he does.
McGregor picks up a loose ball in the centre circle. To his right for Ralston. Out in the touchline is Forrest. Forrest has it now level with 18-yard line. Attacking John. He's now inside the box. Forrest making for the byline, then turns back the way and finds Ralston at the right angle of the area. Low ball infield to Engels. Now it's with Forrest. Forrest turns it back to McGregor. McGregor goes back to Arthur. Celtic fans want this in the St Mirren penalty area. It's with Ralston from McGregor. Down the line for Forrest. Level with the 6-yard line now. Rolls it infield to Nygren. Gets it back to Forrest on the left foot. Reverse shot blocked. St Mirren clear through Gogic. They're trying to get back onto it, but it comes all the way through to the goalkeeper again, who holds on to Tamatavicius. He plays it short to Freckleton. Celtic 2, St Mirren 1 here in Sportsound across the frequencies on BBC Radio Scotland, on FM medium wave extra, on BBC Sounds, and at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. At Hampden, Dunfermline beat Falkirk in penalties yesterday here. They are waiting to find out which of these two they will face in the final. It's not as cut and dried as we thought it was at half-time. As St Mirren pick up a throw-in just inside Celtic territory on this near side. We're in the final 20 minutes now.
Yeah, Donnelly's moved almost into a midfield position now. He's trying to overload that midfield.
There's Freckleton dinking it forward. Campbell giving chase. Benjamin Arthur's there. Cleared by the unknown Brentford man. And then a foul by
Nonsense.
Donnelly.
Absolute nonsense.
On Engels. Stephen.
It's never a foul. Wins the header.
That was a good header. I agree with you, Stephen. But he's just obviously now they're going to almost like a back four, St Mirren.
It's going to be changes for St Mirren at the moment, and Stephen was speculating that they might be coming as Sinisalo clears under pressure from Ayunga. He's right into the St Mirren half. Freckleton with the touch, turns away from Maida and finds Gogic, goes back to Freckleton. Freckleton looks up, long pinged ball with the left foot, looking for Phillips. Not a decisive header away by any stretch there by Trusty, but it's going to break back through to his goalkeeper anyway. Sinisalo underarm bowls it to Tierney to the left. A turnover on the far side by Yang. Celtic are going to make a change as well. Luke McCowan's ready. I think they're going to be first actually. Roland Adobu is definitely coming on for St Mirren. There might be Jaden Richardson as well, as Nygren picks up, looks to thread it in behind for Maida, too much on it, goes right through Kamatavicius, who holds on and plays it short to Gogic. And then he plays it to his left for Freckleton, low ball, side foot out to John on this near side, shows too much of it to Forrest, an ambitious touch to try and take it round the Celtic veteran, who's played in field to Engels, finds Arthur out to Ralston, who is brought crashing to the ground here on this near side by Mandron, and Celtic have a free kick. Celtic have a lead. It is 2-1 as they make a double change in the end. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Luke McCowan are both coming on. Callum McGregor is coming off, and it's Engels as well. So there Martin O'Neill talking during the week about the management of Callum McGregor and his minutes, that calf problem this season. And he's coming off, the skipper, who failed from the spot in last season's final against Aberdeen, the first time he's ever lost a cup final. Went on to lose another one in December there against today's opponents. And it's going to be a triple change for St Mirren, who are also bringing Jake Young on. Phillips is coming off.
It's not been a great day for Killian Phillips. A wee bit loose in possession, worked very hard, but not tidy enough.
Ayunga coming off as well, so Young will replace him. It's Adobu for Phillips.
Young will give you that pace in behind. Really willing runner.
And Jane Richardson, Stephen, on for Alan Campbell.
Yeah, an attacking triple substitution from Craig. He knows his time is running out. He's got to go for it. Richardson also very, very quick.
Free kick Celtic then after those changes. 2 for Celtic, 3 for Saints. 2-1 on the scoreboard to the 42-time winners.
Yeah, it's going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain is going to sit in McGregor's position, trying to dictate the game.
It's back with Sinisalo, and then he clears with the right foot into the St Mirren half. Freckleton wins the header. Mark O'Hara wants to finish it back up Nygren. There was a high boot by the Sweden international, and that will be a free kick to Saints. But level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half.
Yeah, load the box here, they will. Everybody getting up for it, all the bigger players. A diagonal right on in the penalty spot, I would imagine.
16 minutes of the 90 to play, and really Craig McLeish right now is just hoping that they can force some kind of opportunity in front of goal to potentially, at the very least, take this to extra time. Declan Johns over the set play. It was his wonderful cross that found Mandron, who reduced the arrears to 1. John over this free kick in the Glasgow sunshine. Left-footed, bends it into the right-hand side of the box. O'Hara wins the header. It's over the bar though, never really threatening, and it's a goal kick to Celtic and stays 2-1 to Celtic.
It's an easier header than he made it look. He's actually free, he's got time to try and get it on target here, and ultimately just loops it over the bar. We have chance that for St Mirren, Packet.
Yeah, even if he knocks it back in across the other side of the goal and get people to come in, players to come in after it and so on. But yeah, it was an opportunity gone.
I mentioned earlier, St Mirren the lowest goal scorers in the Premiership, just 27 goals in 33 games. And they are being asked to come from 2-0 down against Celtic here at the National Stadium, but they do have one back. Can they find a second? Throw in to St Mirren midway inside their own half. In fact, a little bit further up the pitch than that. Freckleton leaving it to Johns, actually run about the halfway line. It's Declan John over it. He bowls it back to Freckleton. Looks for Gogic, turns it to his right and finds him, and it's the Cyprus international out to the right side. Down the line, Richardson to Idowu, cut out though. It's bundled into the midfield for Devaney. He's facing his own goal, he's done well, he's found Freckleton. A bit of space here as Freckleton finds O'Hara. Little ball to Devaney in the centre circle, back to Freckleton. Scoops it up to this left side, it's John, manages to get it over the head of Ralston. Picked up here by Jake Young. He's given it away as he knows, he's found Devaney, who finds O'Hara. Now Idowu out to the right side for Richardson. St Mirren building up nicely here. There's an overlapping run, it's a low ball across, it's cut out by Trusty though. Second chance for Richardson on the right. Offside, it's a poor offside as well against Idowu. And it all comes to nothing for St Mirren, and it stays 2-1 to Celtic.
It was really good build-up play, Packy, from St Mirren, working the ball down the right-hand side. Richardson to Idowu, who'd made the overlapping run, but then he just couldn't quite get it out his feet to find a telling cross. St Mirren's bodies in the box as well. Wasted opportunity. Yeah,
the ball was just behind him. But when it comes back to Idowu, he's just put it in the box. Second time, you know, and you've got the big guys in there again. You've got Mondrian.
Long ball, Sinisalo. Off the head of Freckleton, bobbles between he and Maida, back to Freckleton, right football forward, comes off the head of Arthur in the centre circle, high into the air it goes, Freckleton wins the header this time. McCowan picks up when it settles and finds Yang, out to the left for Tierney. McCowan forward looking for Yang, given away, it's with Richardson.
Celtic have not been great in these last 20 minutes.
No.
Yeah, that's a lovely layoff by Mandron, but not the best of touches by Idowu, and Sinisalo clears, not convincingly though. Saints are a man down the far side, no free kick. Celtic play on with Yang. Oh, it's another loose one, given straight to Mark O'Hara. Stabs it back to Freckleton, who fires it out to Declan John, wide in the left. He's going to keep it in. A little bit of space here. Ralston closing him down. John steps away from Ralston. He reacts well, does the Celtic right back, who goes to ground and wins the free kick. And it stays Celtic 2, St Mirren 1. But you can hear what the St Mirren supporters made of that call by Matthew McDermott.
It's not a foul for me. I don't know. We'll get a wee replay of it here. I think he nicks the ball, does he not?
Yeah, it's very hard.
Soft.
But the point was, as soon as it goes out to Declan John, he had time to put it in.
Just chuck it in.
He doesn't have to go and take on Ralston to get by him. He's got about 5 yards, get it out in your first touch and put the ball into the box. Sorry.
Big week for St Johnstone Football Club. They could win the championship, 2 stabs at it. They visit Dunfermline in that rearranged game on Tuesday live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. 7:45 kickoff. They don't do it then, they will have the opportunity to do so at home to Raith Rovers on Friday. That's also live on the BBC Scotland channel. Then a big weekend of Premiership fixtures, the first in the post-split. St Mirren at home to Livingston, Celtic at home to Falkirk, amongst all that. Here's Jake Young for Saints, driving down the left side up against Ralston, level with the penalty spot, and in the box it comes, it's O'Hara, got onto it. Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't decisive, and he's conceded the corner as well. Could have been worse there from the former England international.
Excellent play from Mandron. This time he does link the ball, plays it out wide. O'Hara makes a really good run into the box, couldn't quite get any purchase in the shot, but behind for the corner kick. I'll take it short.
Yeah, he's taking it short, O'Hara. Idowu, and then back the way it comes to John, takes the touch, gets the left football in, headed away by Ralston. And that's going to bounce out of play off Ralston lasts, and I think Celtic claiming it came off Mandron.
It looked like it.
Yeah. It's gone for a Saints throw in level with the Celtic penalty spot. You just feel at times you just need to get that ball into the box as often as possible.
A bit of nervousness crept in, Liam.
Yeah, amongst the Celtic players and fans. And in the final 10 of the 90 here now. Bang on 80 minutes, Celtic 2, Saints 1. So St Mirren throwing over on that north stand side. They attack the goal to the left, bowled in field, and then behind for the corner by Oxlade-Chamberlain again. St Mirren corner over on that right side. There's the wind behind them here.
Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to do that defensive duty, but every time it comes off him, it's not what you would like. It goes for 2 successive corners from him.
Declan John to take, in swinger with the left foot, and come in right on top of the Celtic defence this time. And it comes from John into the 6-yard area. Sinisalo commands his area very well.
What a punch.
out to the far side, and Doru's passing straight out of the park. It stays Celtic 2, Saints 1.
Yeah, commanding goalkeeping, wasn't it? You know, and that's a couple of times he had to do that because, you know, he comes, he doesn't have to catch it, get good fists.
There is no greater sight in the world when you're defending a corner, getting in the last stages of a match, than your goalkeeper coming and just commanding and taking it. Is that a bit of you, Packy? Did you do that?
Always.
Oh, he always caught it. He always caught it.
I caught it.
Goalkeepers don't catch the ball now.
No, sometimes I didn't either, Liam. That was a problem. But I would come. But the key here is you come. You don't bottle it. Set it on your line. That's the easy thing to do.
Changes for both. Kelechi and Iheanacho is going to be on, as is Conor McMenamin. And the first change is St Mirren, Donnelly off, McMenamin on. So that again is a positive move by Craig McLeish, but the sands of time are slipping through their fingers here. All of a sudden, double change Celtic, Yang off, Iheanacho on. Iheanacho started that League Cup final, more injury problems, came off in the first half. Marcellus Arachi is going to replace Kieran Tierney as well. So on those changes, let's start with Packy on the Celtic double change.
Yeah, well listen, Kieran Tierney normally doesn't last a game, does he? Which is incredible. And he comes off. Sarachi, decent player. He always does a good turn. And then, of course, I think just getting somebody on Iheanacho up front to give a little bit more, holding the ball up. They'll go back out onto the left-hand side.
Yeah, and it's kind of a last throw of the dice by Craig McLeish, Stephen.
Yeah, it is. Got to go for it. He's been brave so far with his substitutions. We just need that one half chance.
Throw in St Mirren, and just bowled all the way back in their own half to Gogic. Squares it to Freckleton. We're almost on 83 minutes. 2-1 Celtics. Played out to the left for John. Forward for Mandron. Foul by Ralston. Free kick St Mirren.
Put it straight in the box.
Freckleton looked like he was wanting to take it quickly there. It's maybe a bit level with the edge of the centre circle in the Celtic half. The left, in fact, wants it taken a little bit further back than that. Can St Mirren create one opportunity between now and the final whistle to try and take this to extra time and keep their Scottish Cup hopes alive? They haven't been in the final since they won it in '87. Declan John over this left-footed free kick, drifts it into the box, looks like the goalkeeper's, and is. Sinisalo claims pretty tame in the end, and it stays Celtic 2, Saints 1.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what we expect from Declan John, but it's looped up there into the air. But the goalkeeper does well to come all the way beyond this penalty spot and catch it and take the pressure right off Celtic. It's incredible how Celtic have not put this game to bed.
You can hear the fans are edgy.
See the last 10 minutes, they have been terrible. Really, really poor.
Well, that's the reason why Chris Sutton doesn't think that they're going to win the league this season. Just 3 points off the top, but doesn't see enough. There'll be plenty others who feel the same way. St Mirren have it, wide in the left. Mandron finding John. His cross cut out. It's sourced by Oxlade-Chamberlain, who wins the header. And it goes out of play for a St Mirren throw-in. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's played here before. He scored here before when he did so for England against Scotland. He's had a couple actually against the Scots. Also scored at Celtic Park in a friendly. The game here was that qualifier with the two Griffiths free kicks, which had wiped out the Oxlade-Chamberlain goal, but for Harry Kane's late equaliser. Stevani picks up on the halfway line for St Mirren. Back to Freckleton now with Gogic. Long ball. Switched out to that right side. Taken on the chest. Chance perhaps.
Oy!
Oh, he's gone down. Was he fouled? No, he wasn't, says the referee. It was Sirachi's challenge.
No, I don't think he caught him, but I was just waiting for the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper comes and commits himself, never getting it. And was he going to dive in? No, he stayed big and he didn't touch him.
He's got some engine on him, Jaden Richardson, to be fair, but the VAR team happy with it.
He just used his body
no
a
penalty.
little bit.
No foul.
Goal kick Celtic. We're in the final 5 minutes of the 90 here. Celtic leading by 2-1. Maidan Ralston at either end of the first half. Mika Mandron giving St Mirren a chance, even up to this point, with that early second half header. But in fairness, Sinisalo's not had too many saves to make since then.
No, listen, it's going to be... St Mirren was always only going to get 1 or 2 chances. if they were going to they got the one, they put it in the back of the net, and there wasn't really a chance, but it was a brilliant effort.
Chance for Celtic here. Sarace's managed to find McCowan on a loose ball. McCowan to Sarace, shoots and blocked by Richardson. So Mirren desperately trying to win it back over on that right-hand side. They're not going to be able to keep them in play. They're claiming it's their throw, and it isn't. It's a Celtic ball level with the edge of the centre circle over on the left side. 86 played. Celtic 2, St Mirren 1.
Just such a lack of conviction from this Celtic team, isn't there, Paki? Like,
yeah.
It's like they don't believe in themselves.
Sarace with a long throw in down the left for Iheanacho, who can't control, and Gogic picks up the scraps, finds Freckleton at the edge of the box and clears. O'Hara battling to win it back. Oxlade-Chamberlain nips in ahead of him though. And he's with Oxlade-Chamberlain the far side. He goes to ground, no foul. St Mirren have it back, Mandron, and then the long ball down the right for Idowu. And they're flooding forward in black and white here. An opportunity here for Saints, perhaps low ball, cut back, the effort saved by the foot is Sinisalo, and the rebounds Sinisalo puts it behind for the corner. 2 stabs at it they had, Mandron at the second, and they're going to have to settle for a corner only, as St Mirren rapping the door, looking for an incredible equaliser. They would take this tie to extra time. It stays Celtic 2, St Mirren 1.
Brilliant from Idowu down the right hand side. A wee step over, cuts it back. The shots again are just a wee bit on the timid side. It rebounds. The next shot's timid as well, but it gets the corner.
John will take over on the St Mirren right with the left foot, bends it into the box, headed away in front of the goalkeeper by Arthur. St Mirren with Richardson. Chance here, the shot at the edge of the box comes off Arthur and behind for another St Mirren corner. They're not done yet, not by any shot.
No, there's never a good punch from the goalkeeper. He's elected to punch every single ball, but he's got good distance on them.
I'm hearing there's going to be a minimum of 4 minutes added. We're about to go into the final 2 of the 90, so just over 6 minutes left for St Mirren to try and rescue this. They do have another corner. Declan John takes, is high towards the goalkeeper again. He gets a little fingertip to it and does enough to get it clear. Ralston helps it on its way. Saints still have it though, wide in the left with O'Hara level with the penalty spot. Back to Devani, turns away from Iheanacho as crosses, doesn't get the height in it. Nygren heads it away. Bouncing at the edge of the box, just in the edge of the D. Celtic looking for a free kick, and they've been duly awarded one. Right to the edge of their own box, takes the pressure off them, and it stays Celtic 2, Saints 1.
Yeah, incredible pressure, I've got to say. Those corners are bent right in on top of the goalkeeper, near post, middle and back, and he's dealt with them, the goalkeeper, I've got to say, under severe pressure with the height of 2-3 players in and around about him.
In many ways, Celtic's Scottish Cup journey has summed up their season. They've laboured through it. Auchinleck Talbot in the 4th round. They then, for all intents and purposes, they were out against Dundee. Managed to scramble extra time, won it there. Then there was the game at Ibrox where they didn't have a single shot on target and had to go through on penalties.
It's a story of their season, but listen, they have a real opportunity to get to a final here.
They could win a league and Scottish Cup double.
They could win a double.
Sinisalo. Long ball, we're into minute 90. 2-1 Celtic, long ball, it's headed away by Gogic. Breaks to Idowu, flashes it forward looking for Jake Young. Arthur will have to be careful, he's under pressure, he's done well, and Trusty comes and helps him out and clears. Nygren's header into St Mirren half's picked up by Freckleton. Forward to O'Hara. Now Freckleton on the halfway line, rolls it out to the left for John. Dink ball down the left hand side. Mandron chasing, Arthur's misjudged it, Mandron's onto it. He's in the box, pulls it across, it's blocked by Trusty. Now it's Young, lovely turn, poor cross, the left foot, it sails out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. It's another warning though for Celtic that this tie isn't done yet. So sloppy.
If Mandron could do something with his feet.
Honestly, I mean, what an opportunity this is.
He's got the power in the air, as we know. He scored a brilliant goal, but today his link-up play, his passing, just everything has been quite. Even that shot, that opportunity he has, I think it came to him in the box.
Yeah. The one off
the second phase, and he kind of almost mishit it.
Yeah.
We're into the first of 4 minutes of stoppages. Mandron's after it down the right. It's Mika Mandron. He's in. He scores. St Mirren equalise. Just as we go into stoppage time, the League Cup winners have come from 2 goals down, and Mandron lasses the ball past Sinisalo into the bottom left corner. It is an outstanding finish as the team come to celebrate with the fans clad in black and white on this near side. It is a remarkable conclusion to this last 90 minutes. St Mirren are level, and this second semi-final's going to extra time. You would think Celtic 2, St Mirren 2, unbelievable.
Well, you can't say it's not been coming, Liam. We were just waiting on that one big opportunity for St Mirren. They've been knocking at the door for the last 20 minutes. Celtic have been so poor. Terrible defending from Celtic, ball over the top, they get caught underneath it, Mandron's onto it, right-footed finish across the goalkeeper, brilliant finish. You know, this is the irony of having had a bad game. He scored two goals, two outstanding goals, and you cannot say on the balance of the last 20 minutes or in this second half that St Mirren haven't deserved this.
And I'm going to take it back, because I did say...
Can he do something with his feet?
What a strike, cross the goalkeeper, falls into his path brilliantly, bounces up, and he hits it on the volley back of the net. And but it was coming. You're right, Stephen, it was coming. Celtic just cannot control a game at the moment. They can't get over the line, and it's incredible. It's quite incredible.
Oh, and they've paid a huge price now, and all of a sudden this is anyone's semi-final. Celtic comfortable, 2-0 up at half-time. They've become embroiled. Much of it is because of them, but also because of St Mirren, who've shown a dog in this. But here comes Celtic, Sarachi with the cross ball. Into the box comes off Declan John, more height than distance in the clearance, drops out to the far side. Richardson defending, clearing with the right foot. There's still late drama before extra time. Odds on it's extra time, but you just never know. Still a couple of minutes to play. There was a player booked in the melee there in the celebration. The St Mirren clear, long ball, Devani's chasing, Sinisalo comes and clears. Forrest controls on the near side, brilliantly done by James Forrest, but Ralston shanked it out for a throw-in to St Mirren on this near side. This crazy season, has this semi-final got another sting in the tail before extra time?
I just wonder what's going through Neil Lennon's mind. Who would he like to have in a final when you see Celtic really struggling, or a St Mirren team that he knows that he can actually take them on? That's the point after witnessing this.
Well, he said yesterday he wants Celtic, he wants O'Neill. That's what he wants. As Mandron picks up wide in the left, St Mirren chasing a cup double. Mandron's ball in and Sinisalo holds on. Stay Celtic 2, St Mirren 2. Celtic look to try and come up the other end on the counter. Maida has it, gets it from Sarachi, midway inside the St Mirren half, trying to take on Richardson. Rolls it to Sarachi in the underlap, gets a cross, it's a good one off a St Mirren head across his own goal, and behind for a corner off Freckleton. It's an outstanding header because Iheanacho's in behind him waiting to nod it home.
Absolutely, brilliant. He's played well, Freckleton, I've got to say. Good player. And controls that defence alongside Alex Gogic. But yeah, Celtic just hoping to get out of jail here. Corner, last minute of the game.
It would be so Celtic. Benjamin Nygren's over the corner. We've played the 4 minutes, but because of the Saints equaliser, there'll be a bit on top of that. Nygren then, left-footed, in-swinger, headed away comfortably by John. Reached the edge of the box and lashed just over by Luke McCowan. He caught it flush with the left foot. It's a fantastic hit, but it's over the bar, and it remains 2 apiece.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery in from Nygren. St cleared it, comes to the edge of the box. He definitely got a hold of that, did Luke McCowan, but just couldn't keep it down. And imagine the final whistle will go after this by kick.
That's incredible. Quite simply, Packy, a Celtic team does not surrender a 2-0 lead at Hampden Park in a semi-final. No, this one does.
Absolutely, and they get in at half-time, they get a perfect second goal. Right on half-time, they go in there, they should be coming out. All guns blazing, and it didn't. Extra time.
It is, like yesterday, extra time. The boos from the Celtic supporters, the cheers from the Saints fans. Because right now you would have to say the momentum's with them. They've come from Maida and Ralston first half goals behind to force an extra half an hour. And a second half double from Mika Mandron, emulating what Jonah Ayunga did in the League Cup final by scoring twice against Celtic. And that is why, just like in the first half, Celtic scored early in the first and late in the first. St Mirren scored early in the second, and just as we ticked into second half stoppage time, Mandron, who headed Saints back into the tie, manages to rifle home an outstanding finish right side of the box into the bottom reverse left corner. And he has given St Mirren an almighty chance now at moving into a final against a championship team with a possible League Cup, Scottish Cup double on the horizon. It's still in their future right now as it stands, because after 90 plus minutes, it is extra time, because it finished Celtic 2, St Mirren 2.
Celtic versus St Mirren.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. The Scottish Cup lives here.
Hey Toaster, play BBC Radio Scotland.
Stop asking your toaster to play BBC Radio Scotland. You need something way more intelligent, like me.
Every Monday, you could win a smart speaker to make listening to BBC Radio Scotland even easier. The phone lines will open when you hear the smart speaker say,
"Win a smart speaker" on BBC Radio Scotland.
Tune in to Mornings on Radio Scotland every Monday from 10 to find out more.
Win me and I'll play BBC Radio Scotland. And I'll never burn your toast.
Well, the season, like no other, continues to offer twists and turns in unparalleled fashion. Wow. Just when you thought, surely Celtic were heading to that Scottish Cup final, St Mirren have turned things round in the second half, and within seconds, as to be fair, he did admit, Tom, but within seconds of Pat Bonner saying, "I wish Mikael Mandron could do something with his feet," he rifled home, Thomas.
Richard,
rifled home the equaliser that set up extra time.
What a finish it was. They must have been listening to Packy. That's my only conclusion. It's pity the humble scribblers in all of this, because I had about half of my piece written here at 2-1. I was thinking, okay, St Mirren, wow, they're pushing hard here. Celtic are beginning to cave. They look very nervous, but I think Celtic will hang on, hold up. Oh, no, they haven't. Tear it all up, start again, which is great. It's a great thrill. The game is amazing. I give enormous credit to St Mirren, not just for their hunger, but their mental strength.
Yeah.
To come back into this game, 2-0 down, they lost their goalkeeper. Woodwork had been hit twice. Celtic were motoring, and to claw their way back into it, and now they've turned the tables. Celtic, they look a bag of nerves. They look really a beaten docket. Now this could flip again, because you cannot second guess anything this season of all seasons. It could well be that Celtic come back and win this game.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, if you're having your last fiver on one, who would you go with? I wouldn't have a clue who to go with. This is such in the balance now, and fair play to St Mirren. You know, all of the games between Celtic and St Mirren this season have been close, 3-1-0s, and in the cup final. Wow, this is another belter.
Yeah, sure is. Look, young Grant Tamasavicius could be facing a penalty shootout.
I've just messaged Struan saying that.
St Mirren debut.
He might have to take a penalty to close the distance. What about that scenario?
Looked as if Celtic were about to bring on Rio Hatate, but they've actually had to make a different switch. It's Dane Murray who's come on at the back instead of Arthur for the extra time. And Tomo will get through extra time thanks to a very kind Celtic fan behind him who gave him a couple of paracetamol.
That is very true. They saw my passing my note of, has anybody got paracetamol? None of you did, but a Celtic fan stepped up. Thank you to the young lady.
Brilliant. Liam.
It's for Stephen. Celtic get this first period of extra time underway here, having made a change there, as Richard was mentioning. Dane Murray replacing Benjamin Arthur. As Sirachi picks up on the near side, Celtic in the green and white boots going right to left, shooting west as the goalkeeper comes and gets his foot onto it. It's a brilliant sweeper-keeper challenge there on Iracho by Tamasavicius, and it's out for a throw in on the near side.
He does well.
Was in my mouth. My heart was in my mouth.
He does well because
wow.
I thought he was going to go with his hands first, and if Iracho got a touch on the ball, you could see a penalty being given, but he went with his feet and he made a really good tackle.
Some men in the black and white stripes shooting towards the Celtic supporters who are in the east end of the stadium, as they normally are. And Sirachi gives it to Nygren, back to Sirachi, now Nygren. Celtic looking steady themselves here for an extra time that they were not expecting. Oxlade-Chamberlain on the halfway line, long ball through. Richardson's going to get there ahead of Maida. Takes a touch, turns and clears. High ball. And Jake Young, he actually made an impact when he came on, and was off Sarachi out for a St Mirren throw-in on this near side. It's going to be very interesting. The best part of yesterday's semi-final was the second period of extra time, with regards to entertainment.
Normally the game opens up a wee bit more.
Well, the second half of extra time yesterday was really good.
Yeah, it can be really stodgy. And I said to James McFadden in the commentary yesterday how much longer extra time periods are going to continue with all these fixtures that these players are taking part in nowadays. When do they finish after 90 and go straight to penalties? Well, we shall see how this one goes. The scoreline at 2 apiece, and it's Celtic on the ball with Forrest wide on the right. Iheanacho wanted it ahead of him. Maida's there too. It's played to Nygren at the edge of the D. O'Hara for company. Nygren goes down. He's managed to work it out to Forrest, who crosses. Tavis Vicious holds on inside the 6-yard box. Celtic 2, Saints 2.
He read that well, because if he didn't come for that ball, Maeda was in at the back post, so he did his team a turn.
McMenamin goes back to the edge of his own box. Gogic has lost it. Iheanacho though can't find Nygren. And they've got away with that, Saints. It was sloppy from them at the back this time, as Richardson launches the ball forward up towards Mandron, challenged by Trusty, but it breaks to O'Hara. Now it's with Roland Adowu. Flicks it with the right foot out to the left side there for Declan John. John midway inside the Celtic half. Short to Adowu, Mandron, O'Hara and Young are waiting on the edge of the box. Out to Declan John, looks up, gets the cross in, chance at the 6-yard box. It's well defended by Dane Murray. He's put it behind for the corner. Mandron was looking for a hat-trick there, as it's blocked and behind.
That would be another incredible story, wouldn't it, of Mandron gets a hat-trick in this game.
It was a fabulous ball in from Declan John to the front post, and you're right to point out, Liam, really good defending from Murray.
Outswinging corner from Declan John, this time over on the left. Plenty to hit in there in black and white. Gogic, Mandron are there. Freckleton 2, in it comes from John. It's not a great delivery though, it's away by Sarachi, the angle of the 6-yard box. Kept in play by John, flicks it down the line for Adowu. And then the challenge comes in, and out it goes for a throwing off McCowan for Saints, level with the Celtic penalty spot on the north stand side. This really is anyone's tie now.
It is. It is. It's incredible.
We might get another corner here, St Mirren. They have done off.
They have indeed.
McCowan over on the far side. 4 minutes into the first period of extra time at 2-2. An outswinging corner again from John. He'll want better delivery than the last time. They know he's capable of it. And it comes looping towards the penalty spot. Comes off a St Mirren head, back from Richardson, I think. O'Hara wide in the left of the box. Finds John, who took the corner. Back to Adowu. Fed forward to Mark O'Hara. The challenge comes though from McCowan. He's done well, and Celtic are trying hitting the counter here. McCowan's managed to get it forward to Forrest, who's tripped by O'Hara, who's surely going to the boot now. Mark O'Hara. And there's a yellow card for the Saints captain, and a Celtic free kick wide on the right.
Cynical, but actually a good foul.
Celtic have it with Oxley Chamberlain in the centre circle. Managed to find Dane Murray. And then to Ralston. Looks for a long switch of play. He's managed a couple of these today. Can't find Maida this time. Richardson heads away. Flicked on by McMenamin. Now it's with Mandron holding off Trusty. Oh, it's a brilliant turn by Mandron, and then moves it out to McMenamin, who plays it off Sarachi, and it breaks kindly for Maida, but Devaney slides in and puts it out for a Celtic throw-in.
I've got to say Devaney's had a brilliant game today. Again, a young man. What is he, 18 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
He's 18, yeah. On loan from Manchester United. And Devaney scored against Airdrie in round 5. And Saints route here. Last round, the quarters, they beat Partick Thistle in what was Stephen Robinson's final game in charge. As Forrest picks up wide in the right, good play, gets the cross in, it's a good ball, it's in! It's in, Celtic have the lead back, Kelechi Iheanacho, 6 yards from goal, flicks it past Tavis Vicious, and Celtic have their lead back as they eye up a Scottish Cup final against Dunfermline Athletic. In extra time, they've become embroiled in this semi. but they are back in front, and it's Iheanacho with his biggest moment in green and white hoops so far. Celtic 3, St Mirren 2.
Yeah, good play from Forrest down this right-hand side. And he just drops his shoulder, goes to the byline, gives a lovely little ball across. Goalkeeper comes this time, but he's getting nowhere near it. And there was Iheanacho just to get his head on it and just head it into the empty net.
It is superb from James Forrest. Absolutely brilliant wing play. Taking on his man, stands an outstanding ball into the 6-yard box. And Iheanacho, for about the first time, St Mirren not picking up in the box. He was free. And could do nothing with a header.
But is that not what you want from a winger?
It's a dream for a striker.
That's vintage Forrest, that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But this idea where you've got to come on the inside all the time, get to the byline, commit people, and get a good cross in, and then you have a chance to get somebody on the end of it. And that's exactly what Forrest did.
They are coming again, Celtic. Forrest looking for Iheanacho again. It's going to break, right-hand side chance. Goal! And that might just settle it, because Celtic find themselves 2 goals up again through McCowan. Brilliant take, right-hand side of the box, cultured low into the bottom reverse left corner, and 2 goals in the space of a minute might have broken the League Cup holders. And Celtic look like they're going to get their revenge, having lost that final in December, as they look to get back to the major showpiece in the Scottish football calendar. It is Celtic 4, St Mirren 2.
Yeah, to get a lucky break, actually. It was a cross-field pass from Forrest, hits it with a bit of pace. I'm not sure who was diving in to try to intercept it, but it comes off him and falls into the path of McGowan, who finishes it with a plum.
And suddenly, Stephen, Celtic have their 2-goal lead again.
Yeah, I mean, St Mirren have put so much to try and get back into this game. A brilliant second half from them. Celtic were poor, but in the space of the blink of an eye there, you've got to say, I can't see it, a way back for St Mirren now.
No, 2-goal deficit is in what, half an hour, you know.
Well, I mean, it was unlikely, wasn't it, that St Mirren would come from 2 down. They did. However, now you feel there's not going to be enough time. Tired legs as well in extra time, and about 9 minutes on the clock in the first period, and Celtic enjoying a 2-goal lead again. But that is the very definition, Stephen, of a football quick 1-2, isn't it?
Aye, most definitely, yeah. And I mean, it came from nowhere really, because Celtic hadn't looked like threatening too much in the game.
Yeah, here they come again though, given away by Freckleton. Iheanacho has it. And his 5th Celtic goal. And Luke McCowan, who scored the winner against St Mirren in the first weekend of the league season, scoring just after. As Celtic put themselves back in the comfort zone. As Forrest playing it back the way to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now Sirachi. Forward to Forrest in a central position, Sirachi on the left, and then out to this near side for Maida, taking on Richardson, level with the 18-yard line, infield to Forrest, who's got the captain's armband just now, worked infield to McCowan from Maida. Iheanacho looks up, shoots, scores! Brilliant goal! Suddenly Celtic are running amok here. Iheanacho, it's a fabulous take, controlled with the left foot, set himself and turns it home beautifully into the left corner of the net to make it Celtic 5, St Mirren 2. The Saints players looking to the heavens, the Celtic supporters celebrating with their players. They will be back in the Scottish Cup final despite that second half drama.
Again, James Forrest in the middle of it, drifts away across onto his left hand side, combination of passes with his colleagues, picks out Iheanacho, just turns and hits it first time. And that's what Celtic fans want to see when they get into those forward positions. Have a goal, take a bit of a risk. Now, of course, confidence just glides it into the net.
St Mirren have got to do more to put pressure on the ball when it goes into him. He's able to take a touch and then just under no real pressure, just pick a spot. But the finish is exquisite. It really is, with very little backlift.
They look done in, the St Mirren players, Stephen.
No wonder.
That came from Miguel Freckleton's loose ball out of defence, and you can see by his body language they just conceded those 2 goals, and it's affected them quite clearly.
Yeah,
the third of the extra time period goes in.
It's curtains. I mean, no, there we are.
Maida's after it. He's on it. Left hand side of the box. Maida squares it. Nygren, number 6. Number 6. Celtic turning on the style, having done that on so few occasions this season. Martin O'Neill's men have scored an incredible 4 goals in the 11 minutes of extra time to absolutely blow St Mirren away as they make their way back to the final, a competition they've won more than anyone else. And Benjamin Nygren's 20th goal of the season makes it Celtic 6, St Mirren 2. Remarkable extra time period this.
It is. We didn't see it coming when that 90th minute was up, but they end up for them to score 4 goals so quickly. But again, Maeda putting pressure on, they get caught on the ball, he wins the ball, and then he's driving forward into the box and just picks out Nygren, who did a simple task of just guiding it, making sure that he guided it into the corner to give this Celtic a 6th goal. Could you actually even see it coming?
It's incredible. And actually, from a St Mirren point of view, it's almost, Stephen, as though they've expended so much energy getting back from 2-0 down in normal time to force extra time that they've just completely wilted.
Yeah, they have done. I think that's quite possible, getting to extra time. They're thinking to themselves, we've done the job, getting here to extra time, and then just switching off really when they needed to be on top of their game the most. It's quite remarkable. I mean, really, it's not been a 6-2 game. It's not been a 6-2 game, but here we are, 6-2 to Celtic, and obviously no way back for St Mirren.
Now, Luke McCowan's been booked for a foul over on this near side. It's resulted in a St Mirren free kick, level with the Celtic penalty spot, and it will be played into the box towards the back post. It's beaten everyone though, and it sails out from McMenamin, and it will be a goal kick to Celtic. And you just don't know, Pat, because Celtic were poor in that 90 minutes, particularly that second half. Yeah. But the fact that they've scored 6 and they could easily score more now, this could do them wonders for the league matches ahead.
That's what we're saying. They haven't played well in the 90 minutes today. I think that they started off exceptionally well, and I thought they were going to sustain it, but he couldn't, and that's incredible. But to end up winning this game now 6, you're right, it could give them a lot of confidence, and can end up, as you say, without playing a season where Tom came out with lots of stats earlier, which is incredible to end up, and he could actually even end up winning a double.
Well, he's got to look at starting Forrest and starting Iniancho for me. And the pair of them have had the biggest impact in a Celtic shot.
I can only imagine Kelechi Iheanacho's just not fit to start matches. That's why he's not, because given the problems they've had in that area, it would make sense to start him.
I did say, is he better coming off the bench to make an impact, or to start and then having to replace him later on?
We've not seen enough of him starting to make a judgment on that, really, have we?
No, but he's got qualities. He can finish, that's for sure. And they don't have many strikers, any strikers that can actually finish the way that he can. It's just his fitness is the question.
Celtic scored 4 goals in 6 minutes. It's incredible. And from their mental point of view, Pat, they just conceded a goal right at the end of normal time that took this extra time, as they did against Aberdeen here 2 years ago.
I can't quite describe how them 4 goals came around, because it happened so quickly and so fast, and that Forrest obviously was a part of probably 3 of them, and that especially the first one, which was a great bit of wing play for him to set up Iheanacho, and that's the one.
Well, here's a Dowu for St Mirren up to the edge of the Celtic box, trailing 6-2. There's a misunderstanding with Richardson, and it goes harmlessly behind for the goal kick. We've played 1 minute of stoppage at the end of this first period of extra time, And I think there was just the one ad indeed. There is the half-time whistle in extra time, and my goodness, Celtic held out just for another few minutes. They'd have won this semi-final 2-1, and despite that they would have probably had more questions to answer, but they've absolutely blown St Mirren away in a rampant fashion in this extra time. Maida them in front after the opening minute of the game, after the Mullen error, added to by Ralston on the stroke of half-time. Man-drawn second half double in 53, and in the first minute of stoppage time took it to extra time. But goals from Iheanacho in 96, McCowan in 98, Iheanacho again in 101, and Nygren in 102 have taken Celtic through to the final with another 15 minutes to play. But that will now be a formality, because at half-time and extra time in the second Scottish Cup semi-final, it is incredibly Celtic 6, St Mirren 2.
Celtic versus St Mirren.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. The Scottish Cup lives here.
I'm going to say, in the many, many years I've been doing this programme, I cannot remember an extra time period, even a half of extra time quite like that. I would hazard a guess that of all the extra times that I have been involved in doing this programme, 90% of them probably haven't produced any outcome, and we've gone to penalties. I've never seen anything like that. It was less than 6 minutes, that 4-goal salvo. Tom, I don't think we're left in any doubt now who's going to be in the Scottish Cup final, are we?
No, I mean, that was thunderously impressive from Celtic, incredibly ruthless. They looked, in those 6 minutes, they looked like peak Celtic. You know, just unerring finishes, great energy. I think James Forrest sparked it all. You know, he's got an insatiable desire for trophies, despite the fact that he's won more than any other Celtic player in history. And there he is, and he turned it. He got to the byline, and he put over that cross for Iheanacho to make it 3-2. That was the turning point. And it's Forrest again. What a player this guy is and has been for Celtic. He's helped in a considerable way to put his team into the final.
Played a huge role during that extra time period. Change for St Mirren. Declan John is off and Scott Tanser on for the final 15 minutes. Are there more fireworks ahead, or will it be a calm route to the final for Martin O'Neill's men? Second half about to get up and running. Liam McLeod.
St Mirren kick off the second period in their black and white, going right to left towards Mount Florida. Celtic in the green and white hoops. And as Richard was saying, that change made there with Scott Tanser coming on for St Mirren. He replaces Declan John for the final 15 minutes of this. But 6-2 Celtic, and they've done the work in that, as Richard was saying, fewer than 6 minutes, and they scored those 4 goals that have taken them through to face Dunfermline in next month's Scottish Cup final. It was a Scottish Cup final a couple of times in the 2000 till 2010 era. They met in the 2004 final, Henrik Larsson's final act as a Celtic player, and then 2007 Joel Perry-Doumbé with the only goal, and Stephen Kenny's Dunfermline. Jimmy Calderwood was in charge in 2004 as St Mirren come forward, and Tanser wins the corner on the left-hand side of the Celtic box. McMenamin coming out to take this, but this must be so difficult for the St Mirren players, Stephen, to be up for this now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're just probably looking at this going, where is the final whistle? At 3-2, you've got a chance. At 4-2, you've got a half of a sniff. 6-2, you're just like, get me up the road.
Yeah, loads of St Mirren fans have done exactly that. McMenamin's corner comes in, it's headed away. Goggett's tried to get in the end of it. Celtic clear. Nadowu recycles it back to Richardson at the edge of the centre circle. Chip ball down that far side. One in the air by Sirachi. Iheanacho can't control it. It's out for a throw into St Mirren over on the far side. Seen loads of St Mirren fans have gone. There's plenty Celtic fans have decided to beat the traffic, safe in the knowledge that their team are going through to that final next month.
Yeah, and it's a day out for them again at Hampden. They've got an incredible record here, yeah, but I think the point that you were making earlier about getting confidence and scoring goals for a change, because that has not been the case recently, and they've taken their goals very, very well in this period. You know, Iheanacho's both his goals were, you know, the first one header back of the net, but the second one was taken superbly well.
Yeah, well,
and Stephen's got a point. I think Stephen has a point. Do you start with Iheanacho now? You know, you got 5 games to go, and you know you've got Forrest who will get great confidence out of this game today. Do you go with them because the rest of them haven't been producing? That's the point.
No, I mean that is the major point, Packy. Like, there's another chance.
Yeah, Forrest looking to get Maida in left-hand side of the box, cuts back on his right side. Maida, little disguise ball, Sarachi across and blocked and cleared by Tanzer. McCowan keeps it alive. Here's Forrest, the edge of the D. Nice little turn on the right foot, shoots and held. Saved well there by Pamatavicius, who probably couldn't have done anything about any of the goals he's conceded in the end.
The thing about Forrest, he doesn't just play out on that right-hand side. You know, when I seen him, you know, when Brendan had him away at the very start, I think even he was always drifting into those positions, getting into positions where he could actually have a shot on goal, just similar to that situation there.
The difference is that he, when he's on the ball, wants to try and make things happen. He doesn't play it safe. He wants to try and see a pass, take a player on.
Yes.
Too many of the Celtic players don't do that. Do you not agree?
I totally agree. You know, and that's what I was saying about Tonekti. How many times does he turn back and give the ball back to another player? Forrest will do it only when it's necessary.
Celtic with McCowan forward to Nygren. And on the far side, back to Luke McCowan midway inside. St Mirren half in field, Oxlade-Chamberlain. And then clips it out to Ralston. He's got Forrest on this near side, cuts in field instead and finds McCowan. 11 minutes of the extra time to play, 6-2 to Celtic. Sarachi coming forward, now it's Iheanacho's in the box, he's on a hat-trick, he shoots at a really good save at his near post by Tamasavicius to deny the sub a hat-trick. Celtic corner, 6-2 Celtic.
Yeah, good save, and listen, I don't think he's had any, maybe the goal where he's come for the cross and he quite didn't get there is again decision making, but overall I think for the young goalkeeper to lose 6 goals, 5 goals, I've got to say.
It's harsh for him, I have to say. It's harsh one.
Very harsh.
But like, he's done well, given the situation he was thrown into.
Celtic corner. Oxlade-Chamberlain's taking this one right-footed. It's really deep towards Maida. He's kept it in, has he? Yes, he has. Little back heel from Dane Murray. Chance for a 7th, lashed over the bar by Austin Trusty. Stays Celtic 6, St Mirren 2. We've got 10 minutes left.
I think it was easier to hit the goal there than hit it over the crossbar. I think what was he, about 4 yards out.
Sportsline here in BBC Radio Scotland. We will hear the post-match reaction from Martin O'Neill and Craig McLeish. It's going to be a lot of talk in the build-up to this final, Packy, about O'Neill against Lennon and the wonderful time they had here when Martin O'Neill, in his 5 years, Neil Lennon was there for most of it, one of his big money signings at the time. It's going to be quite the spectacle with regards to the management setups, isn't it, for that Scottish Cup final this year?
Yeah, but they can't go out and play the game. That's the only difference. They have to leave it to their players to perform on the day.
Forrest, Oxlade-Chamberlain back out to this near side for Ralston. Oxlade-Chamberlain forward looking for Forrest, straight to Devaney though. As it comes back the way to Tanzer, who squares it infield to Freckleton. Time on the ball, but this really is a bit of a non-event now.
Yeah, it's just,
you can understand that.
St Mirren don't want to lose another goal, I've got to say, you know, because I think they've done well in the 90 minutes, and they've just been blown away for that 6-minute period, and it would be a shame for them if they lost any more goals.
Well, here's Sarachi at the edge of the St Mirren box, looking for Forrest, can't get anything on the ball, and St Mirren carry it out here. With McMenamin, fires it forward for Jake Young. And now taking on Ralston, who slides in. It's the challenger, not once but twice. Still Young emerges with it though. Still he's going. Eventually they manage to nick it off him. Ralston has it on this near side. He plays it out off Tanzer for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think he'll also be happy with his game today. You know, he got that critical goal. That second goal, and he's hung in there. You know, you're right, he's probably maybe 3rd, 4th down the list when everybody's fit. but he's a Celtic man through and through. He's been here for a long time.
Yeah, Johnston, Araujo and Donovan are all injured just now. Halston's getting his chance. Didn't stop him being in Steve Clarke's Scotland squad for those friendlies, and you would imagine he'll be going to the finals in the summer. The St Mirren start their post-split fixtures as they battle against finishing 11th at home to Livingston. They then got a trip to Dundee, then at home to Kilmarnock, then up to Aberdeen before finishing at home to Dundee United to try and avoid that playoff place, which is currently occupied by Kilmarnock. It's a long ball forward by Saints down the right side, but it breaks back into Celtic possession with McCowan, who rolls it back to Trusty. 7 minutes to go. Celtic 6, St Mirren 2 here in extra time. The Saints have done so well to force the extra 30 minutes, and they've run out of gas amidst a scintillating 6-minute period for Celtic in the first period of extra time, in which they scored 4 times. It's with Richardson, who lets rather than go back to his goalkeeper to take it out the far side, and he does go back. Avicius with the long ball forward. It's collected well by Young in the centre circle, pings it forward, Mandron chases, but Dane Murray's there for Celtic and gets it clear down the line for Forrest. Forrest under pressure, plays it off Tanzer and out for a Celtic throw-in. And Celtic start their sprint towards what they will hope will be yet another title as they try and defend it. 3 points behind Hearts. They're at home to Falkirk, who were beaten semi-finalists here yesterday. And I suppose the good thing from their point of view, Pat, is they've got both Rangers and Hearts at home.
Yeah, and I think that game, that semi-final that Falkirk did play, would have taken a lot out of them, confidence-wise too, because they were favourites. They were expected to do a lot better, and didn't happen for them. So their confidence is going to be down. That maybe play into Celtic's hands. But yeah, those games at home against the two that's sort of fighting against them is critical.
So they play for a St Mirren throw in over on the right side, high up the pitch. They're 4 goals down with 5 minutes of extra time to play. There's highlights of this on Sports Scene this evening. And then 2 big games in the Championship to come during the week. Dunfermline St Johnstone on Tuesday. Imagine Martin O'Neill will be an interested spectator of that. I'm sure he watched the semi yesterday, but he'll want to keep an eye on what Dunfermline are doing as they to solidify their place in the playoffs. No, Arbroath did that yesterday, so close to doing that. And then St Johnstone, if they don't win the title Tuesday, they host Raith Rovers on Friday. Both those games live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. Saints on the ball here with Richardson midway inside the Celtic half. Back to Freckleton in the centre circle. And out to Gogic. Flicks it forward with the right foot. McCowan gets onto it for Celtic, one of the goal scorers in that first period. A little turn and then out to the left. Sirachi goes back to Trusty. And out to Sirachi again on the far side. McCowan. Forward it goes towards Iheanacho. Shields the ball as well to work it into the path of Dyson Maida. And it's just run and run and run from minute 1. Indeed, in minute 1 he gave Celtic the lead. It was looking like a comfortable afternoon. That's what the scoreline's going to suggest in the annals, as Trusty's fouled on the far side by Richardson, and Celtic have a free kick level with their own 18-yard line over on the far side. Celtic 6, St Mirren 2. Stephen Thompson, how you feeling?
I was feeling a wee bit better about 20 minutes ago, to be honest with you, Liam. You know, it just shows you this Celtic team are capable of, when they find that kind of flow in the final third.
They set a standard there in that period, didn't they?
Did. I mean, it was breathtaking. It was incredible. Incredibly hard to watch if you're a St Mirren supporter. There's a few left here still in the stadium.
Of course, but we've seen Celtic do that to teams in semi-finals recently. They did it in both semis last season against Aberdeen in the League Cup and against St Johnstone here
in the League,
in the Scottish Cup
this season. You know, this is the thing. So it kind of came out of nowhere. But credit to them.
Yeah, and you know, they went forward in that period. They went forward. Yes, they got maybe a wee break in the sense that the deflection fell into the path of McCowan, but overall they went forward and they knew exactly what they were doing and wanted to do it, rather than this sort of pass backwards.
Pedestrian stuff. Yeah. He just needs to show those 6 minutes to the players for the rest of the season. This is how you do it. It has seemed like they've forgotten at times this term, as Freckleton rolls it forward for Saints, looking for Tanzer down this near side. Wellston slides in and out it goes for a St Mirren throw-in level with the Celtic penalty spot. 2.5 minutes of extra time left. 6-2 to Celtic. And the Saints fans, they would have got a good bounce with that equaliser, but perhaps it hasn't been worth it in the end. So it slipped through to Jake Young and out to Tanzer on the touchline, back to Freckleton, then back down the line it goes to Young, looking for space to cross. He does. Sinisalo will watch it sail across him and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just Sinisalo, I think he's dealt really well with the set pieces. You know, they put a lot of balls in on top of him, and he's sort of almost been able to deal with him, punches coming, and that tells me that he's got something. You know, people talk about this team, you know, I mentioned it earlier, who would he keep, who should stay, who should go, and I think Sinisalo is one where I think if he's not going to be the first team, he's definitely a really good backup. But now whether he wants to be a backup from now on in after having a taste of first team football, that will be the question. But I wouldn't have any, you know, qualms in playing him, getting in as a first team. He's only going to get better as he gets more experience.
What does Craig McLeish say to his players, Stephen? Huge games ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been nice, but the importance is very much with the league just now. Sitting in a perilous position just above Kilmarnock, and these next 5 games are essentially cup finals themselves. They've got to take points from them. I think they can take positives from the game. That second half performance was excellent. They showed a lot of character to get back in the game. I wouldn't be dwelling on
picking up a throw in the box, but he slashes at it and he goes out for a throw in on the far side.
I wouldn't be focusing too much on this period of extra time where obviously it's unravelled, and you've got to just put this to bed, really get focused on the next game, which I think is it Livy at home for St Mirren?
Yeah,
that's a huge game for them.
Just about time up here at Hampden. A few seconds of the extra time remaining, and there will be no stoppages, so Celtic are just 5 seconds now away from confirming their place in the showpiece. Tanzer picks up, and there is the final whistle, and Celtic are into the 2026 Scottish Cup final. They did it the hard way in many ways, leading 2-0 thanks to goals from Maida and Ralston either end of the first half. Mandron's second half double on 53, and in stoppage time took it to extra time, but it was all for nothing. Celtic running riot in a 6-minute period thanks to 2 goals from Kelechi and Acho, 1 each for McCowan and Nygren, and that takes them through to yet another Scottish Cup final. They've won 8 of the last 15. They're looking to win it for the 43rd time. They have a wonderful record in this tournament. They've only lost 3 of the last 45 Scottish Cup ties all told, albeit one of those was in last season's final when they were big favourites to beat Aberdeen. But they've got a chance to redress the balance now, and it is going to be Martin O'Neill against Neil Lennon for the 2026 Scottish Cup, because back here on May the 23rd it will be Dunfermline Athletic against Celtic for the Scottish Cup. It finished here after extra time with the League Cup winners beaten. Celtic chase a double. Celtic 6, St Mirren 2.